Hello everyone, welcome back to Comic Book Late Night Unlimited. It is I, Captain Logan, and tonight I've got my buddy Chris with me. And Austin should be here a little bit later. He's usually here right with us at the start of the show these days, and doesn't wait till later. But now it's going to be like an old show where he doesn't show up until after the first segment.
It's a throwback. We're doing a retro show.
Not really, though, because he'll still stick with us afterwards. Yeah. He'll talk to us about the feature book. But he's got some family thing going on tonight, and he said he'd make it back real close to start, he thought, but he's not here yet. But
Austin, we are your real family. We are. Come with us now.
Yeah, and we're just heartbroken that you went out to dinner or whatever you're doing.
Exactly.
Instead of, I don't remember what he told me.
Right here, Austin. Right here. Just rip it out.
So anyway, Chris, how you doing, man?
Doing all right. I'm doing all right.
It's good to see you, buddy.
Good to see you too. Good to be here.
As always, we're going to go through books that are coming out tomorrow. We're going to do a featured book right at the end of the show. Chris, tell everybody what we're talking about at the end of the show tonight.
Today we are talking about Escape.
Ooh. Rick Remender.
Rick Remender, yeah.
Which is a book that Austin, I think, has talked about some as the issues were coming out.
Yeah, like, I didn't know what it was until I got into it, and I realized, like, everybody's dogs. That everybody is a dog in this. Even though it's a, like, World War II, behind enemy lines, military thriller, it's still dogs.
He goes for, like, a red wall approach.
Yeah, exactly. And it's funny, which...
No, that's all I knew about it, too.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize how... I mean, I don't want to get too far into it yet. We'll talk about it later. But I didn't realize how, like, personal and near and dear to Remender it was going to end up being. Yeah. And I think... Like, even though Austin put it on the wheel and he had really nice things to say about it, I think he sold the thing short.
Yeah.
It's like a once-in-a-decade kind of book.
Yeah.
And it'll be fun to talk about.
It was one as you start reading it, and it's like, why am I having all these feelings?
Yeah, no, exactly. You're like, oh, this is something special.
Yeah.
This is a thing that almost inevitably will get adapted at some point.
Yeah.
You would think. Unless it falls under the radar. Because I think... and this is a good problem to have. I think we have in the independent scene, when I say independent, I mean mostly Image, and then some stuff with the horror stuff happening at Boom, and we've talked about all the houses with good indie stuff.
Yeah.
But I think there is kind of an excess of riches going on right now, and there's so many good things.
Yeah.
And like I wasn't saying this several years ago.
Right.
Like there's so much good stuff happening right now, and there's so few people actually paying attention to comics.
Yeah.
And like that's getting better. I'm not saying the industry itself is suddenly booming or anything, but like we've talked, ad nauseum about how Absolute has gotten some people back in the shops. But also, like Skybound has helped a lot. Ghost Machine has helped a lot. Yeah. So there's people paying more attention to some of this creator-owned stuff, but still. A lot of really brilliant stuff is getting buried right now.
Yeah.
You and I are going to talk about a book later that I am really worried nobody's going to notice.
Yeah, exactly, too. And it's funny because in some ways that's good, because when you have less eyes on you, that gives you a little bit more freedom.
Well, that's true.
You could be a little bit more experimental if...
Yeah, but what if you have these brilliant masterpieces that go unnoticed for 20 years?
Yeah, exactly, too. So...
It's kind of in a way, it almost feels like the same problem you have with streaming services and stuff, where in like the whole death of the monoculture thing, it's like we're all splintered, we're all reading different things, and so you've got those couple of things that are bringing everybody together, like your Absolutes, like your Skybounds, but then we're all kind of in our own little
pockets there,
boats, And
it's funny because again, like. Look at music, how 20 years ago we still had MTV, we still had like some semblance of MTV.
I mean, you still had rock as a genre.
You still rock as a genre, and you still had terrestrial radio that everybody was listening to. And then again, like 20 years before that, you had MTV at its peak. 20 years before that, you had like the one good radio station in town that everybody listens to. So, I mean, that's just a cultural shift with, like, the internet, where everything's gotten so fragmented, so pocketed, like you said, too.
Well, and even though comics don't have anything like the readership they used to, and we've talked about seeing comic shops closing everywhere and things like that. We're in a good place around here.
Yes,
we're opening shops.
We're
closing them.
I know.
Out in Kansas City. If you're ever in this area, really great place for comics.
Yeah.
But you're not seeing that in most places.
No.
So we're kind of lucky in that way. But there's this kind of weird, counterintuitive thing that's happening where I think there's an oversaturation of titles.
Yeah.
Even while it feels like so few people are reading, just in general, and you're like, it's a huge deal if you can crack even like 80,000 these days.
Yeah, and I know a big part of it is that with DC and especially with Marvel, with the big money behind like the MCU, is that the studios kind of view comics as a test market.
Right.
So, I mean, that's a big part of it too. And whatever kind of works in comics will probably end up in a big feature.
Except, and I don't want to retread too much of stuff we've talked about.
Yeah.
But like DC is doing that.
Yes.
When you, especially with Gunn taking over, when you look at with Supergirl, they're adapting a book that came out 5-6 years ago. Marvel's not doing that.
No,
Marvel's not a testing ground. Marvel is advertisement for their own, like, ostensibly larger projects.
Yeah.
And I think it's also kind of interesting, and I think both the big two have kind of done this, but it's funny that they've taken the ads out of the books. And then the books themselves are kind of just ads now.
I guess that makes sense, yeah.
Or at least that's what it feels like to me.
Well, especially, like, even though I've been enjoying that Wonder Man book, it's still, I mean...
But that still only happens because of that TV
Exactly,
show.
yeah. It's still very much a marketing tool. A marketing tool for a Disney Plus show.
Yeah.
And I've heard good things about the Disney Plus show.
And I think so it's cool that book has been allowed to be creative.
Yeah.
And that's great if it's great.
Yeah.
There's a difference between having what I think is kind of a positive synergy where it's like, if this thing hits and is popular, somebody's going to want to go read a book about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Or at least you'd wish they would. Because we know that doesn't always help. But if I'm the publisher, even if the stats are against me on that, I'm still going to probably always hope against hope that we can turn that around and get people into the shops. And so you go, well, if, for instance, like you said, the Wonder Man show was really big.
Yes.
It was. People liked it. I don't think it did. A lot of people watched it.
Right.
But if that was huge... then you as the publisher would want to capitalize on that. And I just think that that's different than using the whole line to just keep propping up the MCU. And so you have to go case by case with it. And
because
to me, the only... Sorry, I'll finish this point. The only way you can tell the difference is if the quality and the creativity is there consistently.
Yeah.
So Wonder Man is an outlier.
Right.
You are still from Marvel. I know, I'm dogging on Marvel again. You are still from Marvel getting stuff like a year out from the Fantastic Four movie that did not do anything like as well as they were hoping it would. We're still pushing Shalabal Silver Surfer down people's throats.
Right.
Why are we doing that?
Well, also...
And doing, like, in-continuity crap with MCU. Like, why are we doing that?
And, on the opposite side of Wonder Man, you have the Inhumans. You have everything that Marvel was trying to do with the Inhumans.
Right.
Yeah. I have seen a grand total of maybe like 5 minutes of that show, and I'm good. Right. I am fine.
But I'm saying they're still doing that stuff.
Yeah, right. So, again, it is a case-by-case basis. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but
like a lot of the time with, and I'm not dogging you when I say
no,
this,
you're good.
But a lot of the time when we talk about this kind of stuff, you like to go to 10-year-old examples, and they were still publishing a lot of decent stuff back then.
Yeah,
so you
that's
could
true.
give them some of that.
Right,
and some of
right.
the Inhuman stuff they published was actually okay. It was just irritating that they felt the need in the name of synergy and in the name of like kicking Fox in the teeth.
Yeah.
To put away the Fantastic Four and put away X-Men for a while. But the stuff they replaced it with was in my mind, and this is how low we've gotten, still 3 times better than most of what they're putting out right now. And that stuff was still mediocre.
Yeah. And again, too, just go to the Inhumans, that is, again, you're right. That's before the Fox merger. That's before all that, too. So I will admit, I am using examples that are well before some major turning points in, I mean, if we're being honest, like the film industry in general, too.
But anyway, let's go ahead and go to stuff coming out tomorrow. I have a decent-sized week, I think. Oh, and Austin is coming in at just the right time. So we'll bring him in here.
Hey, I made it.
Hey, how's it going, man? Good to see you. You're only 10 minutes late. It's amazing.
Yeah, it wasn't too shabby.
R.I.P. Smiling, friends.
I know. It's tragic. It's heartbreaking.
How many seasons did it get? Just 2?
I think
3.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was renewed through to season 5, but the creators were like, we're good. We're going to end on our terms. And I'm like, fair enough, but sad.
Yeah, like, I can see if you really liked that show why you'd be disappointed, but at least it didn't get, like, flat-out canceled. Like, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's at least something.
It is weird to see creators of a show after only 3 seasons, though, go, yeah, we're done. Because I've seen a lot of shows that go on way too long where the creators go, okay, we're out of steam, we got no ideas left anymore, and then they're like fighting with the studio to be allowed to quit.
Yeah, I know Adult Swim was pretty nice to be like, you know what, that's cool, you can pack it in if you want.
Well, that's hilarious because my main example of that has always been is with Cartoon Network. Has always been Powerpuff Girls, where like they get to season 6 and Cartoon Network is just begging McCracken to make a 7th season. He's like, yeah, I got no gas left in the tank. I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
And you can tell with the last couple seasons because it gets kind of rough. Like it's not as good toward the end.
Yeah.
I just feel like a lot of TV is, just this whole industry is so extreme. It's either one end or the other. It's either you get canceled before you get a chance, or you're forced to go 5 more seasons past any story you had to tell.
Yeah.
You either die a firefly or live long enough to become The Simpsons.
That's freaking Smallville.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you have another example. You have like Supernatural, which was a little different of a case because that had like such a big online following that kept it afloat. But after
that one's a lot like Smallville.
Yeah. After like season 5,
but even crazier because they went to what, like 13 or some crazy. Like, how many seasons did that show get?
I think I could be wrong. Like I want to say like 15 or 17.
Was it maybe that one? Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of people said it was kind of out of steam by 3 or 4.
Well, here's the thing too. Like they had planned a 5-season arc, and they weren't even sure they were going to get that. So like season 5 on their outline was just Armageddon. So once they got there, like, okay,
where do you go from there?
They're like, we still got to do Armageddon, and they're like, we got a 6th season, but we have what could be the ending of the show. We have the series finale at the end of season 5. They're like, you know what? Let's go ahead and do our series finale and just figure it out.
You know, that's exactly what Buffy did.
I can see that, yeah.
But did you know that like Buffy made a series finale?
Yeah.
Where they kill her off at the end of 5.
Yes, and then she comes back. It's like, is this hell?
Yeah, and
I
then
was in heaven.
And then they had, but I'm just saying that they had to come up with 2 more seasons.
Right.
And then Angel had the opposite thing, where they were told the whole season they were going to get renewed.
Right.
And then at the 11th hour, the rug got pulled out from under Whedon.
Yeah.
So he ends the thing on an intentional gigantic cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Just to say kind of suck it to the studio.
Right, yeah.
And that was a very polarizing ending. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into books that are happening tomorrow.
Oh, I figured I missed that segment.
No, you have not missed that segment. We spent the first 10 minutes just kind of saying stuff we've said before.
Yeah, exactly.
I think.
Cool.
So it looks like a couple of Absolute books tomorrow, Absolute Batman and Absolute Martian Manhunter, both books I'm still getting. We are at the penultimate issue for Martian Manhunter. That one's almost done, and it is being replaced very quickly with not one but two new miniseries in Absolute. Austin, I was looking at my my pull list. I got everything updated yesterday, and I think I'm going to end up with like 6 Absolute books now, and I'm not even buying Flash or Green Lantern.
Yeah, well, I was thinking the other day when Catwoman started, and I was like, I'm not sure, but like obviously it's after Green Arrow.
By like a couple of weeks, though, or maybe a month.
Okay.
It's real soon after. And Catwoman I thought was a one-shot initially, but I guess it's a miniseries.
Yeah, no, it is a mini.
Yeah. And Green Arrow is a mini, and I wonder if I wonder if either of those has a chance at, if they do well enough, continuing like Martian Manhunter did. Because with Green Arrow's premise, that sounds like a thing with a clear beginning, middle, end to me. But depending on what the big mystery ends up being, they might come up with a backdoor where you can keep it going. Or they might spin Dinah Lance off into her own book, because she's going to be kind of the central protagonist of that. I don't know if you've heard about this.
Oh, but yeah.
But that book is a serial killer Green Arrow.
Yeah.
That we don't know who the identity is, and it's Dinah Lance trying to figure that out and trying to figure out who killed Oliver Queen. And so the question is, like, will it turn out that this guy killed Oliver Queen, or that it somehow is Oliver Queen?
Yeah. Because I've heard a lot of the rumors about, like, zombie Oliver Queen.
Yeah, that he's going to be, like, an undead version. But I feel like that's misdirection, because it's so obvious if that's what it is. The cover, I sent this to Austin yesterday, because it's awesome. Yeah. The cover for issue 3 is, like, Green Arrow with a skeleton face.
Yeah.
And, like, they're doing all the legwork to make you think that it's undead Oliver Queen. I don't think that's what they're going to end up doing.
He wears, like, an undead mask, and... he also has 2 curved swords that he runs around with that connect in the middle to form a bow. Like,
that's awesome.
It's so cool. Amazing. He's just a Mortal Kombat character. It's awesome.
Injustice 3 coming next year.
I'm really digging on that premise. I'm more excited about that than Catwoman, certainly.
Yeah.
And I will pick up that book, but.
No, for sure. No, this whole time I've been hoping that Green Arrow gets picked up for more, but like if it doesn't, like if it's just a good story, then that's cool.
Well, it's kind of like, again, Martian Manhunter, where that doesn't sound like a thing that has legs to keep going. And then now that we're, 4 or 5 issues into the second half of it, it is kind of hard to imagine that you were left with just those first 6.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I imagine Green Arrow will still be a thing after it. Like, maybe not, but, like, I'd be real shocked if he's completely gone by the end of that.
Well, again, since it looks like he's going to be the villain of the book and not the hero, he could easily run off and be somebody else's villain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or just, like, a supporting character, too, in something.
Yeah,
he'll get a backup feature in Batman.
Like if he's actually a straight up serial killer and he's not just like misunderstood or something, like he's not the main character of this book, so like it would make sense to keep using him in things. And he's just like the scary
he could be like a Punisher figure.
Keep showing up. Well, he could be, but again, like it's not. It doesn't sound like it's actually really about him as much as it is Dinah.
I mean, I do kind of like the idea of the murder mystery and building this mystery and then having like such obvious misdirection too. That sounds amazing too.
Well, and it's fun with the Absolute universe to just take a hero and make it like the straight up bad guy of the book, but still call it that. Yeah, that's super fun to me.
No, that is cool. I'm very excited about that. That's going to be great.
We got Transformers 32 coming out tomorrow. Transformers has been real juicy lately. With both just the drama in that book. And this is a cover that Austin and I have been looking forward to.
That's a good cover.
Yeah. I can never go wrong with Shockwave. I love me some Shockwave.
Me too. So that's exciting. And I don't know, early on, if memory serves,
sorry, go ahead.
they kind of acted like they were killing him off, and I think he's already come back once.
Yeah, he does die, and then there was like a stinger of like I think it was maybe Kirkman's second issue. Like, oh no, he's still around.
Nicholas Bodo, Hawkman needs to be in this book, talking about Absolute Green Arrow.
I'll be real shocked if he's not, and if he's not, like that should be your second arc, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, he'd at least have to be mentioned, you'd think too, just with everything happening to Absolute Evil.
Yeah, well, and I don't want to spoil too much, but he has shown up since then now, and so like he's around.
Right.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Ultimate Endgame 4 is tomorrow. Just crickets on that. Not hearing anybody talking about that.
Yeah, I didn't even realize it was still going. I thought it was over.
Yeah.
Action 1098. We've lived long enough to see Action Comics get to 1100. Uncanny X-Men 28. Captain America 11. Something is Killing the Children is tomorrow. Ninja Turtles 18. Yay. So I'm already at 4 for tomorrow. Iron Man makes it 5.
I've got a really big week. This one too. Yeah.
I loved that last issue of Iron Man, Austin, and I've liked that series fine all the way through. I was thinking, just because I've got so much on my pull, I might go ahead and drop it after the first arc. But I don't know. I've been liking it enough. I may struggle to do that. I might end up keeping it.
Yeah.
If I drop it, it will be nothing against the book. It's just I'm not a big Iron Man guy, so it's expendable compared to some other things that I've had to pull.
Right.
That's fair.
We've got 3 Power Ranger books coming out, although I don't know if I'll get past the first 2 or 3 issues of all of them because they don't seem great, but I will try them all. Because they got rid of the bad book I asked them to get rid of, so I feel like I would be a jerk if I didn't at least try what they're replacing it with.
A good faith effort here.
Exactly. Wolverine 20, Barbara Gordon Breakout. Austin, I'm on the fence about trying that.
Yeah, I'm gonna try it, but I mean, I've been trying all these books, so I guess that's probably a given. But I'll check it out.
It's just tying in so hard to Fraction Batman, and obviously I'm a big Barbara Gordon person, but I can't get excited about like yet another Orange is the New Black sort of thing. I'm burnt out on prison stories, just personally.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough.
That's just a me.
I don't tend to look at a lot of prison stuff. Like, I've never even watched Orange is the New Black, so it's like I don't have that. But like, fair enough.
Yeah, I've seen too much of it, and too many people on the channel have made me look at prison stuff because they know I'm weird about prisons, and so people they constantly ask us for TV shows and movies. I think at one point we had requests 2 weeks in a row about prison things. I may be wrong about this, but I think that maybe happened.
So, look, sometimes you gotta watch Oz. Sometimes you go.
That was one that was requested. We had to watch the pilot for that, and it was great. Yeah. And I never want to watch it again.
Oz is one of those shows that is so like hardcore, but has like so many like random people you've seen like a billion different things, like Mayhem. From the Allstate commercials?
Yes.
He's in that. J.K. Simmons, that's the first place I ever saw him.
Yeah, no, that's true. The Mayhem guy is in that.
Yeah.
He shows up in John Wick.
Yeah, he does.
It's crazy he's still playing Mayhem.
I know.
He looks completely different than he did when he started.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Like, he would not be cast as that now, but he's still playing it because he's
still
locked
there.
in.
Exactly. Yeah. It's fan favorite organization.
He seems like a cool guy, though.
Yeah.
Moving right along, Spawn 375. Yet another generic but awesome-looking Spawn cover. There's a part of me that kind of wants to snag that up. We will.
It's Spawn, but there's green.
Green.
Yeah, but I just like that we've gone back to the classic covers.
Yeah.
That's part of it. We had a long period where they were just like really drab and kind of dull-looking. And it is odd. I mean, I guess we do this with Batman too, but it is odd that we're like this close to 400 and we're still doing a bunch of covers that are just big splashy images of the main character.
Yeah.
And we don't do anything like as much like with villains and supporting characters as we used to. It seems like these days a lot more Spawn covers are just Spawn, but like we do Batman like that too.
Yeah. I mean, Spawn has such an iconic design, and such.
It's literally the only reason to buy it.
Pretty much,
It's just that design. And, and some of the other character designs, too.
Right. We do love overt kill.
We do. We love us some overkill.
Love us some overkill.
Moving right along.
You mean overkill? No.
No, we don't. No, we don't. Fury of Firestorm 2 is tomorrow. Austin's been reading that. I'm not gonna buy that, but that sounded legit great.
I started reading the first issue.
Yeah, issue 1 is excellent.
Yeah, I started reading issue 1 on the app too, and was sitting there and just kind of stared at it. It's like, this is wild. They're doing a Genesis thing with Firestorm. He's taking over this town.
Josh says, I don't know if I'm going to pick up the Barbara Gordon book because I don't know what's going on with that character right now. Well, it's very, very simple. She's Oracle, but on 2 legs, and could be Batgirl if she wanted to be, but we have not one, but 2 Batgirls running around, both calling themselves Batgirl, so I guess she's just decided it's a little redundant.
She's and like, then, you know what, make it easy.
And then at the end, spoilers, but like, they've already solicited this, so you know it has to happen somewhere. The end of Fraction Batman 9, she gets arrested because she kind of makes a sacrifice in the middle of a Batman plan in order to make his plan work, and so she kind of gives herself up and lets it happen. And now she's in prison, like the end. There's not a whole lot to know about her right now. I don't think.
I think everything you need to know is kind of right on the cover.
Yeah. She got arrested.
Yeah.
I know that in Hattush, Batman tases her and it re-cripples her.
Oh, I remember. I did see
no
it.
way.
I did hear about that.
Well, I don't know how she got her legs back, because when they reset, when they sort of kind of reset things with Rebirth, I think she became just straight up crippled Oracle again, and then they, or maybe not. I thought somewhere she lost her legs again, Austin. Maybe not.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I was never a big fan of her losing that. Like, I felt like they kind of walked it back, and I was like, you had a great place with Oracle. Yeah, exactly. They walked it back.
Dude, I read when it happened, it was terrible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of that.
Well, because you're, and I've talked about this before, so I'll be brief. But what was nuts about it, Austin, was you were in the middle of a full-on company-wide reboot. Yeah. All you had to do, because you were cherry-picking what in Batman counted and what didn't anyway. We couldn't tell if Nightfall ever happened. So all you had to do was say, certain story arcs happen, but the Oracle thing we're wiping away. And she's just Batgirl now, and the end. And instead, they kept it in continuity. And they had every out to just retcon it. They retconned so much else.
The New 52 was
they made it a temporary crippling.
Yeah. And like the New 52 was weird.
No, it wasn't just temporary. It was, she goes to get surgery, and like, or I don't even know if it was surgery. It was just like
a device or something too. They put in.
No. Did you read it?
Long time ago, when it first came out.
We hand waved it.
Right.
Gail Simone's, and there's good stuff in that run. So I don't mean to throw her under the bus with it, because I think it was almost certainly company mandated.
Yes.
But she hand waves it on the first page. I went to get this procedure done. Didn't think it would work. It was a miracle.
Yeah.
It says that in the book. It was a miracle.
Yeah.
And then she's just on 2 legs now in his Batgirl again. The end. And also, within that surgery was such a miracle, she seemed to have lost 15 years too.
Yeah.
It's like it made her younger.
Yeah.
No, it did.
It was weird because like the New 52 was such like a weird reboot, but not, where they rebooted the entire universe except for like Green Lantern and a couple of Batman stories. And it's like, what is canon? So Killing Joke happened, Nightfall maybe, but like Mr. Freeze isn't actually married to Nora.
Yeah, they cherry-picked like crazy.
Yeah, look, as much as I like Snyder's Batman, the Mr. Freeze annual.
Oh, it's bad.
Like, why would you? No, why? No.
That was where I quit on that book.
Yeah.
And that was like 3 or 4 in. That was that All-Star. That was that All-Star book.
Oh, no, that was the annual.
Oh, okay.
No,
Yeah, it was the
main
annual,
book,
and
yeah.
I was.
They did a Mr. Freeze story in that. Maybe I'm mixing
I
it
think
up.
they may
But
have, yeah.
I'm going on 12.
Yeah, because I've read what Chris is talking about, and I haven't read the All-Star book.
Oh, well,
he
there
did.
you go.
Yeah.
I thought that's where it happened. Sorry.
It's funny because I remember reading it. It's like, you know what? If it was like an Elseworlds, I might have bought it. But if this is our mainline Mr. Freeze, this is who Mr. Freeze will be for like just the foreseeable future. It's like, no, please don't. Please, Scott. Please, Scott, 10 years ago.
Real quick before we move on, I meant to mention the wheel thing at the start of the show, so let me just do a quick plug for that now. SpiderFan12 says, how long do requests on the wheel last, and how many can I request? They will last as long as we decide to do this show, or we actually land on it. So forever. Ostensibly, because I mean, the show's going great. We're having a lot of fun with it. I plan to keep doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
But they don't. There's not a cap off for it. They're not going to come off the wheel unless we hit it. And so hopefully we'll hit yours. But yes, $5 super chats. You can put something on the wheel, and again, hopefully we'll land on it soon. And it doesn't have to be recent stuff anymore. It can be anything from any time period within reason, just as long as it's published stuff that we can somehow get our hands on and read in digital.
I do want to give a shout to Nicholas Bodo there. That, yeah, I do really like Nosferatu Mr. Freeze from Absolute.
Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah, me too.
He's cool.
Dan Schneider, $5 super chat. Wanted by Mark Millar for the wheel. Put it on the wheel, okay? I will. Jeez. I'm doing it. Tonight's book is one that Austin put on the wheel. We mentioned that earlier. I don't think we haven't done very many spins yet. I don't think we've actually spun anybody's besides one of ours yet. But right now, you're more likely to hit ours because we each have at least 3 still.
Yeah.
And we might. Well, I don't want to say that. I was going to say we might take a couple of hours off so that there's more of a chance of you guys getting hit. But I mean, we'll get through it all eventually.
Right. Yeah, good stuff though. That's the thing.
Yeah, let's see, Dan Schneider, and more people are doing this, and so it's going to start being more likely you guys will get yours hit here. So that would be the first volume of Wanted, and as always, we'll do, whatever the first trade is of these things. 5.
Yeah, I think that's only one. I think that's just like a graphic novel.
Oh, you know what? I think you're right about that.
Yeah, I know it was a mini, but like
I think it comes back when he did that that big event thing he did like 2 years ago. But outside of that, I think it's just one book.
And it's something that most people only really know from the movie, which is nothing like the
Which is-
comic.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is so weird how that is such like a weird, clearly studio mandated thing too.
Oh yeah, he's talked about it on his interview show where I think it was Universal. They were like, "Oh, comic book and superhero things are like box office poison right now. Like, take the superhero thing out of this material,
Yeah.
and we'll make it."
Let me also real quick. Sorry, I keep changing the
You're
subject
good.
back to the wheel, but I just want to also remind everybody that if you put in a $5 super chat and put something on the wheel, it will go to the actual wheel tonight. It won't just be next week. So you do have a chance of whatever you put on showing up this evening.
So there's
that can happen.
So there's a chance that next week we could talk about how Mark Millar wanted Eminem to play the lead in the movie, to the point where he told the artist to draw the lead as Eminem.
I didn't know that.
It's really
That's beautiful.
Yeah, it's hilarious because like you read the book and it's like really obvious if you. And there's like parts where like he's just walking down the street and it's like I'm not going to accuse anybody of tracing, but it was heavily referenced from 8 Mile.
They should have got Eminem in the movie, like how Simon Pegg is the reference.
Yeah,
for,
exactly.
The main character in The Boys, so he's the dad.
Well, Dan Schneider, you should get a review from Chris right now.
Yeah, there it is.
There you go. Yeah.
Okay, take it off the wheel. We're done.
Take it off the wheel. We got it.
All right, let's keep going. Bleeding Hearts is tomorrow. I think Austin's still reading that.
Yeah, it's been really good.
Geiger 23. I want to be reading Geiger, but it's 23 issues in. So someday I'll either read that digital or get those in trade. Supergirl 13, Mortal Thor 10. Are you still reading Mortal Thor? Are you going to catch up on it?
I picked up 9. I need to catch up. I've got I just read 7, base either 7 or 8, which I think it only goes till 12 or 13 or something like that.
They're doing that as kind of a maxi series?
Yeah, it's kind of a maxi series.
Cool.
That's what I'm thinking.
Well, if that's true, I will definitely finish it when it's done.
Yeah.
Because I liked the start of it quite a bit.
Yeah. So
I keep seeing that cover, and every time I do, I'm like, oh, who's kicking Guy Gardner's ass? What book is this? Oh, Thor.
Yeah.
How's that even possible?
I know, yeah.
Outside of a
they've been doing
outside of a 5-page
crossovers.
backup feature in a DC Marvel crossover.
I saw
exactly.
King of Roxxon. I thought that's a King of Raccoon for a second. Is that? Oh, this is the King of the Raccoons.
We both got to get thicker glasses, man.
We do, yeah. Look. See, I woke up real early, didn't have time to put my contacts in, so.
Chris, and that's funny because for a second I was thinking you just always wear glasses.
I mean, here's the
thing.
Do
I see part of the time with glasses?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't even throw me off when you're wearing them.
Because here's the thing too, most of the time I wear contacts, but every so often I wake up and it's I just don't want to touch my eyes right now.
Yeah.
Just don't got time. Don't got time to touch my eyes.
Well, thanks for making me read Mortal Thor because I really enjoyed that. That was a cool book.
It really is, yeah.
Black Cat 10. God, I'm feeling old just reading new comics. I just bought the first issue of that a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
Dork Forest tomorrow. Somehow we're already 4 issues into that.
Yeah, wow.
And I wonder if anyone's still reading it. That first issue was insane and huge.
Yeah, I got the first.
And then some people were it sounded like quite a few people were I mean, this is fine. So I wonder if people are actually continuing with it.
Yeah, I've heard that the second issue. I think Austin, you might have even said that too. That the second issue is a huge drop.
I haven't read the second issue. I picked it up and then it was on one of our off weeks, and I didn't get to it, and then I kept putting it off.
So you picked it up, and you put it right back down.
Yeah. So at this point, I'm I think I'm just off that book, but that's okay.
Emperor Aquaman is tomorrow, and I read 16 and really liked it. And if I didn't have a big day tomorrow, I would consider grabbing this because that cover, man.
That's a great cover.
Well, I looked at that cover and I was like, oh man, Black Manta, that looks so cool. Wait a minute, Starro is in his eye? Oh my god.
Oh,
that's very exciting. That's a kick-ass cover, you guys. Moving right along.
Witchblade's back.
Yeah, are you getting ahead of me here?
I am, yes.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Magic and Colossus. They're doing all these spin-offs of this Death Spiral thing. There's Body Count #1. Okay. World War III.
Oh no, that's World Tree.
Oh, World Tree.
Yeah. World Tree as well as
with two threes.
Yeah.
Sorry, I got confused.
It's a cyberpunky thing. I think I don't even know what World Tree is. I just see it in my shop all the time. And it's there's numbers, there's a computery font. I assume that means cyberpunk.
The title was really nice before the accident.
I think it's a fair bet, Chris, that's going to be a cyberpunk book.
Yep.
And I think that's a Tinian book, if I'm not mistaken.
I think we've looked at it before. Yeah. That sounds right. Yeah, that is a Tinian
Yes, it
book.
is.
Yeah.
There's a couple guys that I always hear pronounce his name Tinian. Drives me freaking crazy.
Yeah.
Green Lantern Corps is tomorrow. Null 5. If you gotta have more Null, he's gonna stab you through the cover here.
We got Null #5 and that new Dan Slott Spider-Man book next to it. Spectacular Spider-Man Brand New Day #1.
Right next to each other. Aren't you just gonna rush out to grab that?
Hell yeah.
I think I'm good. Dan Slott is rocking that gargantuan beard, though. Star Wars Shadow of Maul, tie-in to the series that's going right now. And I guess if it's Star Wars, Marvel can sometimes actually put out a tie-in thing that happens
relatively on time. Yeah,
when the actual thing is going. I am
unless it's Rise of Skywalker.
Well, yeah, okay, there's that. But like with this anyway, they had their ducks in a row somehow. I am, and I usually keep up with new Star Wars stuff, but I was curious. I like Maul and I like Sam Witwer a lot. Yeah. And so I decided to try that, and I'm halfway through it. I'm actually really liking it.
Good.
I don't know if I'll get around to a review of it. I might just talk about it a little bit on the Captain Logan show.
Right.
But it's got a really cool like sense of atmosphere, and it's like detective fiction in the Star Wars universe. So it's like a cop chasing after Maul.
Oh, nice.
And it's fun.
I know Robert was watching it and really liked it.
Yeah, although one complaint I'll give it is that sometimes the police stuff is just a little bit too, like earthy. It just gets a little bit too like real world. It's like you'll have your typical Star Wars city shots,
right,
where you've got cars flying, just like flying vehicles everywhere. And then there's a scene where something happens, some big criminal thing with Maul happens, and then a bunch of cops show up.
Right.
And because it's a police car scene, they're all on the ground, and they just show up like regular cop cars, and they've got the blue and the red lights, and it's like almost a regular cop siren.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think you forgot what world you're in. Yeah. It's weird. It's like, why don't the cop cars fly?
It's like
I don't understand that.
It's like the ending of the Holy Grail too. Monty Python, the Holy Grail, where like the actual police show up and arrest King Arthur.
Sure.
Cop walks in with a donut and he's like, this gas shortage. It's getting crazy out here.
Anyway, moving right along.
Are you always from Tatooine? I'm from Chicago.
Ghost Pepper 11, G.I. Joe Real American Heroes tomorrow, Undiscovered Country. So lots of
Star Trek 6 tie-in.
A lot of we've laughed about that. A lot of Image, create our own stuff tomorrow.
Yeah.
And Boom 2, Hello Darkness. There's Witchblade.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't heard anything about that new Witchblade book. I don't know if it's any good.
Know.
But it's already 21 issues in. Yeah. It's crazy to see like Witchblade and Darkness back at the same time.
Yeah.
Space Ghost 11, and it looks like they're doing the same thing they did with the first season, where after 12 comes out, they're doing an annual that I'm gonna assume is gonna be like the season finale.
Right.
And I've not heard yet if that's continuing or if they're gonna finish it with that. Because as good as it is, I just don't know where he's gonna go after this, because like he's made up a whole lot of villains, and it feels like we could be winding down, or it could go 3 more years. I don't know. Blood and Thunder. There's that Tigress Island book again. There's so much tomorrow.
Yeah,
it's a friggin' gigantic week.
I didn't know He-Man had a book too, and a Dark Horse.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Tim Seeley's doing it.
I missed that.
Wow. That cover's awesome.
He's doing a lot of that kind of stuff. It is a nice cover.
It's funny because that's issue 5. That looks like it could have been the cover for 1.
Yeah.
I was thinking that too. I was like, there's a He-Man number 5.
Yeah, I know. I think we're all surprised there's a He-Man book that's been going for like 5 months.
Here's Godzilla vs. Texas. I don't know why. I thought this had already come out. It feels like we've been talking about this forever.
Yeah.
I think they announced Texas before they announced Portland.
Yeah,
so I don't know what's up with that.
You gotta love all the steers. That's pretty great. What else? Sorry, I gotta scroll all the way down every time. Yeah. It's very irritating. Mega Man.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see at least some kind of all ages things that were advertised at Free Comic Book Day, Chris.
Yes, something.
That's good. Archie Army of Darkness. Austin's been reviewing that for us.
Yeah, I need to.
Hell yeah, I'm excited for that.
Witcher, Thundercats, Silverhawks. I don't even know what Silverhawks is, but they're crossing over, folks.
I'm aware of the title.
I've heard of them.
Yeah,
I've heard of Silverhawks. I couldn't tell you a single thing about them.
Like Thundercats, Silverhawks. I mean,
well, what's hilarious about that is, for me, Thundercats is that, like, I've heard of it. I've seen maybe one episode, kind of property. Right. Because when they did the Powerpuff Girls Thundercats crossover, I bought them all. I've not read them yet because I don't know anything about Thundercats, but I collect Powerpuff Girls, so I bought them. And now it's like, here's what for me was that, like, secondary kind of who cares crossover thing, crossing with something else I've barely ever heard of.
I know.
And I have a Thundercat sword across my desk.
I can tell you one thing about Thundercats.
Thundercats I at least know fans of.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I can really tell you is that the theme song is written by James Lipton. Like, inside the actor's studio, James Lipton.
Weird.
Yeah. That he is an interesting man.
I love James Lipton.
Yeah.
I'm still mad at him for not putting those shows on disc, but other than that, moving right along. Olympus Saga. What is this?
Megalith.
From Bad Idea Comics. That's great. Because if people hate your books, you can just be like, well, I mean, we warned you.
You know what's funny?
What's that?
I have a book here from Bad Idea.
You have a Bad Idea right there?
Yeah. Bad Idea is one of those publishers that, like, when they first, like, they kind of came onto the scene with, like, a weird gimmick where it's like, you have to push this button 1 million times for us to exist. So they had, like, a little flash game button that you had to click, and that would count how many times you clicked.
That's weird.
But, like, one of the first books they put out was called ENIAC, which I thought was really cool because the whole premise was that the bombs that went off in Hiroshima and Nagasaki were not actually launched by the U.S., that ENIAC, the big, like, gymnasium-sized computer, became self-aware and launched missiles at Japan on its own. So the U.S. had to, like,
pretend like they did it?
Yeah. Because, like, we launched those missiles. It wasn't the self-aware AI that we have here. Let's just go look at this for no reason. So, yeah, it's like a world...
Because Truman looks like a guy that would even understand a very complicated AI.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, he wouldn't even get his mind around that.
Yeah, I mean, we've got Truman museums here, obviously. You go in, there's, like, videos, be like, and this is when you put the microchip in your cerebral cortex.
We've got quite a bit on the wheel now.
Yeah.
Bob the Hun put in a $5 super chat and asked for Jinx by Bendis, which I've heard of, but I've never read. He says one of his oldest works, and it was an indie thing he did in the 90s.
It was like Jinx, Torso, and the superhero detective one.
So that probably predates Sam and Twitch.
Yeah, probably, actually, yeah. I mean, it's...
Because that was one of the first things that put him on the map.
Yeah, because it's funny because, like, for a while, he was just the detective guy.
Yes.
And, like, he did the actual, like, the comic about, like, the literal torso murders, too. So...
we got another super chat to put something on the wheel. Thanks for the support tonight, guys. Yeah. Spider Fan asks for Harley Quinn X Elvira, which recently ended. Yeah, we kept seeing that popping up for a bit. Yeah. And he says, while it's in my wheelhouse... He says, recently ended, and while it's in my wheelhouse, it isn't in Cap's. Keep up the great work. It's like, I know this isn't Cap's thing. I want to see him fumble around and attempt to discuss this. Well, thank you very much. It will go on the wheel. I bet something that was asked for tonight shows up.
Probably, yeah.
Because we're starting to stack the wheel with stuff.
We're starting to get pretty,
It'll be Elvira.
Look.
Harley Quinn X Elvira. Austin, are you excited about the potential of doing that?
I mean, I like Elvira, so
yeah.
at least like one of the... What actually?
What?
technically two of those things, but it's definitely something.
I see what you did there. I'm pretty sure somewhere Elvira is like, yeah, what's up?
Austin, that was crass and I respect it. Let's continue. I somehow lost the page with the new comics on it.
Oh.
It just disappeared from my screen.
There's a Harley Quinn Elvira comic? That's it. We don't need any more.
Shut the industry down. We peaked.
We've peaked. That's what I was going to say. Yeah, we're all done. We've peaked, folks.
Yeah, where do we even go from here?
We've hit most everything. There is a facsimile tomorrow for Spectacular Spider-Man #1, which I actually have a first printing of. I always get excited when one of these facsimiles comes out and it's something that I've got in my collection. I'm like, oh, they decided that was important enough. I own one. Look at me. But it's funny because you'd think that the facsimiles would always be of things that are just like too expensive to get your hands on. And they're not always.
Right.
Like sometimes the stuff
I lost my space. Which one is the tarantula one you're talking about?
Yeah.
I guess because the new movie, because he's in it.
Oh, maybe so.
Maybe
I forgot.
See, I wouldn't have thought anything of it.
One of the shots in the trailer is recreating that cover.
Oh, cool.
Oh, nice.
I didn't even think of that. I wouldn't have thought anything of it, Austin, because they're sometimes very random about their facsimiles, and like that's a relatively famous cover, and it was a #1 for a major book. Like,
no, like I wouldn't have been surprised if it was just normal, but I'm wondering if maybe that's why. Like, it was just on the mind.
Maybe so.
Yeah.
But like, here's a facsimile. I think I might own this one too. Here's a facsimile for Action 583. There's not any particular reason to put that out.
Oh, is this the Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow, or like the end of the? Well, no, they've got.
No, I don't think it's part of that. I think it's just some issue.
Yeah, because
Goodbye, Superman, we'll miss you. I remember this cover, but yeah, this came out when Watchmen was going on, so this was just post Crisis or just around Crisis. I don't know.
Oh, it might be because the copy there does kind of describe the end of.
Yeah, well, I think that's also the cover they put on the trade for Whatever Happened to the Man of Tomorrow.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh no, it is.
I think so.
I scrolled down. It is that.
Yeah,
it's part 2 of that story.
Yeah,
because they've got the.
Pardon me, I'm dumb.
I you're good.
Like they had. I guess they had like the first story. Because I was looking like, that's not Alan Moore. It's not the original writer.
Yeah, I've read it, but it's been forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I read it for the first time maybe like 6 months ago.
It's a good one.
And it's great.
Yeah.
Well, let's go on now to stuff we bought last week. Actually, you know what? Before we do that, Austin, I wanted to talk just briefly about Midnight Universe.
Oh yeah, I only have 3 books, so I don't have like much going on this week, anyways.
Yeah,
we can talk about Midnight.
So yeah, would you? Because you turned me on to this, I had not even heard about this yet. Marvel is apparently launching yet another side continuity with multiple books. Seemingly trying to kind of maybe ride the coattails of Absolute, which is weird because they're also ending their side universe that was already a lot of darker books.
Yeah.
That predated Absolute, and now they're like, oh crap, maybe we shouldn't have done that, and then they're doing another dark universe.
Yeah.
So yeah, how do you feel about this whole thing, Austin?
So I saw it originally announced on Marvel's website, which was just Midnight. It's a new imprint we're doing, and I was like, "Are they trying to do like an Absolute thing? Like I don't know what this is gonna be." And then I found, I think it was, like Bleeding Cool, I think, an article by them, and they were like, "Oh, it's gonna be like a new Marvel horror kind of thing." And they were citing a lot of like, Ghost Rider, Blade, whatnot, and I was like, oh, okay. I'm actually kind of interested in that. Like, Marvel's horror stuff is so just undervalued. Like, it would be cool if they kind of gave that stuff a push. Like, I would love to see that.
That's not what it is.
And then Marvel announced the books, and it was like horror Spider-Man, horror X-Men, horror FF, and I was like, okay, no, they are just trying to do their own.
Oh, so it is
Absolute.
just Absolute. Yeah, exactly. So it's Midnight X-Men by Jonathan Hickman. Of course, they're front loading it with a Hickman book, just like Ultimate did.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they're gonna treat him as like the architect of.
I think he is
like Absolute or like Ultimate was. It's almost like they just gave up on that and they're doing this instead.
What's also important to note, I don't know if you remember, like around when we knew Ultimate was ending, Hickman had that interview where he was like, "The future of Marvel is Elseworld material, where you just like pop in, pop out." So this is clearly that in practice, where it's like we're gonna pop into this horror Marvel world and then leave it in probably like 2 years.
Yeah, and I mean, if it's really good, I hope they don't do that. They shouldn't have done that with Ultimate because it had lots of potential, and even when some of it was faltering, there was still plenty of ways you could turn it around. Like I said, that first arc of Ultimate Wolverine, I liked a lot. I don't mean to come off like anything Marvel does, I'm gonna spin it negative because I've not been happy with them. I don't want to sound like a hypocrite because. I have suggested that because I and a lot of people are just not really invested in 616 anymore, doing an alternate continuity or more than one even might be, again, if it's really good, might be the way to get people more interested, or even just do a lot of singular out-of-continuity stories that don't have to touch anything else. That might even be better. And, like, DC has had tons of success with that. With Black Label stuff, Elseworlds, etc. And so I should hear this and be like, oh, good, you're kind of doing some of what I suggested. Except it does sound at first glance, and like Austin said, especially with the titles they're doing, it's X-Men, it's Fantastic Four, it's Spider-Man. It's really hard at first glance not to think, well, you're just. There's no way this would have happened if Absolute hadn't happened. And and of course you want them to learn the right lessons from that, but the right lesson is never just to ape the thing the competition is doing. Now, coming right out and front loading it as it's straight up horror is not exactly what Absolute did. Like, Absolute's got a horror bent to it, and some books are more horror than others. This straight up has like Storm as a vampire. It's like it's horror, like maybe Universal Monster-esque horror, and so it does have the potential to give them, as much credit as I can, to carve out its own space and get people to look at it because of Absolute. But then it does sort of go its own way and do its own thing. I will, unless I hear horrible things, try at least one or two of these. But I'm having a hard time being like super stoked for it. And having a lot of faith in them.
Yeah. So when I saw the pitches of like each one, it's like, okay, it can either be that Darkhold Iron Man book that Chris got us to read that was great, or the other thing, which was the first thing that came to mind reading all three of them, is Ruins by Warren Ellis. I don't know if you guys remember that. Where it was like him trying to do like a Marvels thing that was like super dark, and like everything's awful, like all the heroes are radioactive. Jean Grey's like a prostitute that gets killed by Nick Fury. Like, it's just that kind of stuff, and I'm like,
where's edgy just for edgy's sake?
And I had like a little bit of that reading it, and I don't think it will go as far as that. And, certainly.
And it's funny,
but
too,
like, I don't know, I'm cautious.
Oh, it's funny too because
honestly, sometimes Absolute Batman is kind of that, and I like it anyway. Anyway,
well, I was gonna say, like, even like the Darkhold Iron Man stuff. I was actually just reading a thing about it recently where they're talking about how that and like Darkhold Wasp were the only two good things to come out of that event.
Okay.
Yeah, I was reading
Why
about
don't you just take that Darkhold Iron Man thing and make that one of these?
Exactly, yeah. And
might as well.
The fact they're calling it the Midnight Line.
Well, I wanted to read more of that.
Yeah. And like I haven't played Midnight Suns. I haven't played that game, but some people still are.
Yeah, and I think when I read that article that said it was going to be focused on the Marvel horror characters and it being called Midnight, because Midnight Suns is what I was thinking of.
Yeah,
there's already a correlation.
Made me go,
word.
Yeah,
there's already a correlation. Like, surely that's where we're going. So like, I think either way, I am just disappointed they're not doing that because I would have much rather have seen that. But like, if this is good, then that's cool.
And like,
and I don't care about. Sorry, I don't care about that stuff as much as you do, Austin. And I agree with you.
Yeah,
that does sound like what this probably should have been.
Right.
Yeah, one we've talked about. I think we've talked about this on the show, like how Vertigo is kind of Marvel or DC, sorry, competing with the creator-owned Image stuff. That could. And obviously it's not creator owned, it is Marvel characters, but like that could be a way of competing with a lot of the horror creator owned books. Is like, well, here's our classic horror stuff.
Chipbugs love to put in a $5 super chat and also ask for something for the wheel. There's a record tonight, folks.
Yeah,
we've got 4 for this evening. And he asked for the Ultimate Galactus trilogy.
Yeah, and he mentions too that Rise of the Silver Surfer did pull like dialogue verbatim from it too, like the whole Reed Richards speech about how like I was a good little nerd who what was it like? You never played sports? Like, no, I was a good little nerd, but now the jock is asking me for his help. I forget how the whole speech goes, but
God, that awful speech comes from that. Okay, take it off the wheel. Chris just reviewed it.
I will say it works better.
I can't wait.
I will say the speech works better coming from like Ultimate Reed Richards, from like pre-Maker Reed Richards, just because like he's enough of like an annoying twerp that it works better in that context versus like
that's fair.
Yeah,
like a 40-year-old man.
40-year-old man is like, I was a good little nerd.
I think I've read. I'm rusty, but I think I've read the event that did the big Galactus stuff, but I don't think I've read that. Like, does that just introduces?
It's basically it pays off the Galactus. Like you first hear about.
I thought it was one in the same.
Yeah. And the one thing too,
because it's got to be called something else, right? And
well, there's
this
like
is an Ultimate Galactus trilogy, but it's not even called Galactus in that. It's Galactus. So like, what's that called?
There's like 3. It's like Ultimate Nightmare, Ultimate Human, maybe. Yeah.
No, I don't think Ultimate Human's part of it.
No, I don't think so.
That.
No, Ultimate Human is us.
Yeah. The one thing I will say about Ultimate Galactus is that's where the idea of Galactus being a cloud comes from. I mean, it's not really that in the book. He's like a swarm of like big alien bugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ultimate Nightmare, Secret, and Extinction.
Yeah.
This is going to be a little bit too long, though, for one show. Because they're all individual miniseries. So we'd have to do 14 issues for one show. So, like, we can commit to the first one. But I don't know if... I mean, it depends on how fast it reads, but I don't know if we can commit to all 3 for one show. If it shows up.
Yeah, for sure.
So, Chewbacca's Lover, I put it on the wheel. We'll have to decide how much of it we're going to do. Or if we'll split it into a couple of shows, but then that's taking up a space, and that's maybe not fair to other people. So we'll have to figure out how we do it.
Yeah.
Because when you said Ultimate Trilogy, I assumed it was 3 issues, because I didn't realize it was several, like more than one story arc.
No, I was thinking it was 3 minis, but I wasn't entirely sure. It's been too long since I've looked into that.
I do remember the scene where they had like the college frat kid who only speaks at like lead speak. They're like, we're gonna go get some beer. His dialogue is, beer equals woot. Yeah.
So I need you to do me a favor and stop telling me what's in this book. Because I'm just gonna dread it. And it might be okay, besides the few awful things you remember. But I don't... That sounds painful.
It's... Oh,
Oddsbreakers Lover, sorry, I thought there was only 12 issues. I thought it was Watchmen length. Yeah, again, we'll look at it.
I mean, I do think that Ultimate Captain Marvel is a cool design. I mean, they use that for the Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
So, Chris,
yeah,
at some point it will come up on the wheel.
Yeah,
and then we can review it then.
That's fair. I'll put this back.
Okay,
I got stuff to say.
Austin, why don't you go through the... You said you only have 3 books? Didn't you have some stuff that you didn't review from last week? Did you not get to any of
that? No, just because I had a busy day. So
I understand.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That sounded like I was giving you crap. I didn't mean that.
Oh, no. No, and I know we share 2 things. So
we share 2 things? What are our 2 things we share?
Oh, unless you didn't pick up Daredevil too, and I'm just assuming.
You know what?
I forgot.
So, it's in my box, but I don't have it with me, and I didn't get a chance to read it. So, no, I've not done that one yet. But you feel free to go ahead and review it, and I'll just next week say whether I agreed with you and liked it or not.
Yeah. Next time you can be like, I don't agree with anything he said.
I forgot to put it on my poll. And then when I was in the shop, they didn't have it on the shelf, so I assumed they didn't have it. And then I messaged Chris at the shop later, and he was like, oh yeah, I've got one. And so you just threw it in my box.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful.
He was like, he's like, are you okay with this other cover? And then I looked at that cover, and I was like, that's way better than the A cover. Like, of course I want that.
Well, I guess I'll just start with that then.
Yeah, do it.
It was pretty good. It's Matt trying to figure what?
No, just the way you said that. It sounds like a book you're going to drop after 3 issues. You're like, it was pretty good.
It was fine.
No, I was trying to think of like where I was gonna. My brain was going to like 3 different spots at once. Where I'm like, where am I gonna start with this issue?
That is a great comment.
Sorry, I'm interrupting you.
No, it's okay. But yeah, no, because there was kind of 3 different things that I was thinking of all at once. So I was like, I don't know, it was pretty good. No, Matt's trying to figure out obviously what was going on with Omen, the villain from last issue, and he has to like struggle with like, okay, Daredevil has to figure out who's trying to kill Matt Murdock. Matt Murdock has to teach classes, so it kind of becomes like a classic Marvel-y kind of dilemma, like the Spider-Man kind of thing we always talk about, of struggling with that balance. And it was pretty fun. There's some good action like there is in issue 1, and I'm liking what they're doing with the class so far.
Yeah, I just remember that first issue. A lot of the classroom stuff really kind of stuck with me, just in particular. Yeah.
Yeah, I know there's a good gag in the classroom this time where one of the students keeps raising their hand to answer questions, and then somebody's like, "He's blind, he can't see you." Just say it.
That's great.
Is the art just as pretty?
Yes. No, I would say it's very just like on par with the first issue.
Sweet, because that was the main thing I decided to pull it for. Like, I liked the writing fine. Like, I thought it was pretty good, but that's the best Daredevil's looked in 10 years to me.
Yeah. No, it does look really good. I'm laughing that we still have the wrappings on his arm from Daredevil season 3. Like, we're still doing that level of synergy, even though the show isn't doing that anymore.
Yeah. No, the comics love that now.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I always said, because I don't like the armor suit in the show, like, that's your balance, right? Like, you have some sort of red tights that is not too far off from what that black suit is, but red, and he's got like a proper mask.
Yeah, that's all you gotta do.
I feel like, just adapt one of those suits. But anyways,
and, like, you could make it, made out of somewhat thicker material. Like, it doesn't have to be armor, but it could just be like more padded. It could have some pockets in it. Like, it doesn't have to be skin tight spandex.
Right.
Like,
no, exactly.
Give it some texture. You can do that.
Yeah. No, it's just like one of the only things at Marvel that is like weirdly Nolanized, where like it's very Dark Knight with his suit. And like it's just weird they never got away from that. And I assumed when Marvel got that show itself, they would, but
well, and you got us
they
used to with that first season. Back at Netflix, you got us used to something like so homemade and street level looking, and something that any of us could do in our garage, which is why you see like 3 at every Comic-Con.
Yep.
Because anybody can make that. It's why you see Rorschach's.
Yes.
Because it's pretty easy to put that together. And then they go the other direction to the attempted like realistic looking superhero costume that actually doesn't look that realistic at all.
Mm-hmm. No, and Daredevil being a ninja, like my issue with it has always been he's one of the characters that shouldn't be restricted with his mobility by wearing armor. It's like the Flash. Like he and the Flash should not be wearing armor.
Well, that's a good point. And Spider-Man shouldn't either.
Yeah, their characters.
No, and Spider-Man too.
Flip. Yeah. And
yeah, exactly. They're characters that need to be able to move around.
Yeah. If you do backflips, you shouldn't wear armor. I mean, I think that should be your litmus test.
I will say there is a part of me that gets really nostalgic whenever I see like the Black Daredevil costume with the but it's also one of those like I know it's dumb. I know that shouldn't be his main costume. It's just I at one point went to a Pizza Hut when I was a kid.
Well, what I think was always we'll move on. Yeah. What I think was always provocative about it for people is that he's got a wrapping around his eyes because he's blind and he's not using them anyway.
Yeah.
And like I think that's just a really cool, distinct look.
Yeah.
But then the argument against that is, isn't it an advantage for Daredevil for people not to know he can't see?
Yes.
And I think part of the reason that first season pulled it off so well is that show is so dark. You figure nobody's looking at his eyes anyway.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then season 3 adds that it's like a nun wrapping that he's like tied around his face.
Right.
And it's like perfect.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah, obviously, like it shouldn't be his main costume, but
but I don't think I would have been too upset if it had been, especially compared to the armor thing that I never really liked, and it just got worse as it went along.
Yeah, no, definitely. No, there's a middle ground to be had that we just never found. No, I think it was Zdarsky that. Where like his pants look like jeans, but it's like the regular red Daredevil suit, and it's like
the Daredevil.
Do that like that's your middle ground TV show.
Yeah, like the Zdarsky. As much as I like that run,
and I've not read it.
Yeah, as much as I like Zdarsky, just in general, that his Daredevil costume. I know he didn't draw the book. Zdarsky is a decent artist, but he didn't draw Daredevil. But that costume is weird. It's like just Uncanny Valley enough for me.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's like,
and I think that's where we started doing the wrappings because that would have been around when season 3 happened.
Well, that first cover is pretty famous now, and I think it has it pretty prominently.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, exactly. Next up, I've got Absolute Superman number 19.
Hey, I actually read this one. Out of context.
So we do have 2 books.
I'm not. Well, we'll have 3 if you read Batman.
No, Batman was the one.
But I didn't read Daredevil. So sorry, I'm being dumb again. Yes, we do have 2 books, kind of, because I'll let you do most of the talking with this because I just read this completely out of context because I'm not caught up. But I was sick of buying these and not reading them. And after what you were talking about last time, I was kind of curious and with the whole Reign of the Superman thing. And I was like, fine, you know what? I'm just going to read this, whatever. And I did. And it was fun. And it gets a lot done. There's a lot going on in this.
There's a lot going on. The funny thing is, you could have just read the last issue and this one. It's only a 2-part story. I could have done that. Because the Parasite stuff is great, but that's not super connected to this.
Okay. I didn't know. I assumed it was like 5 parts.
No. This is issue 2 of the story so far. And like obviously it's building off of that Parasite stuff and off of the Ra's al Ghul stuff. But like it's easy to jump in from there. But we get a little bit more about Steel, and it was cool to kind of hear from him and see what his whole deal was.
I love him, and I've always been a fan of that character. And I like that the Absolute John Henry Irons, he's really not that far away from the regular one. Like usually we pretty massively reinvent him, and here not so much.
It's mainly just design.
Yeah, but like the characterization is pretty much the same. he's like kind of snarkier in this, but he's got about the same attitude. He's got the same principles.
Yeah, he just had like a harsher life.
Yeah.
No, and that's really cool.
I like his narrations a lot. I like how he's the only character, if memory serves, who gets thought bubbles.
Yes.
I don't know why we're doing that, but I kind of like it.
People miss them. People.
No, I know, but for only that character.
Yeah,
it's hilarious. I mean, maybe it's because he's got the narration, so he's like basically the only character that we get in his head. So he's allowed to have thought bubbles. Narratively, POV wise, I dig on that.
Some editor was like, "All right, you get for one character."
The writer in me is very happy about that. I'm sorry,
Yeah. No, so this issue is very much from his perspective, just in general. Because he's also the captions as well, and there's a lot of when Superman and Black Adam are fighting, a lot of like street view shots like up into the sky, and all that stuff is really cool. And I really like the like big black cape and then like the little Superman cape going into it. Like all of that stuff was really neat. It looked really cool.
Yeah, a lot of atmosphere in this issue.
Yeah, exactly. And I had this guess at the end of last issue, and this one I think I was definitely spot on. I think Shazam and Black Adam are just the same character in this absolute world.
Oh, maybe so.
Because he seems to be Teth Adam, King Shazam.
They keep calling him, and they keep saying Shazam. Yeah.
So it seems like we just kind of merged those characters together, and I think that's a neat idea.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting that he keeps assuming Superman must be like based on him, like somehow a clone of him.
Yeah, no, I thought all that was really funny because he's also clearly based off of Superman.
Yeah,
and I think like we are doing something literal in the narrative but I also think that's maybe like a nod to the kind of meta like Captain Marvel being a knockoff of Superman as well.
Well, and I wondered if we weren't like slightly poking fun of all the movie stuff too.
Yeah, no, that's definitely possible too. Especially, I was thinking about that in the previous issue, just because we get some of his backstory, and some of that kind of reminded me of the movie as well. That could also just be Black Adam-y kind of stuff. I don't know.
Maybe so, but just with the Rock's obsession with like proving that character was better than Superman and that he'd win the fight or whatever. Like that he would show up and be like, you must be based on me. I'm that important.
Yeah, there might be a little bit of commentary.
No, and there's one reference to it in this issue, so I don't know if you caught it, but like the Shazam thing is like deeply connected to Superman's mythos in this.
Yeah.
There's like that one reference.
I mean, there is precedent for those characters being put together. They did. He mentions that animated movie that they did, which actually was like just a short in the middle of a bunch of other shorts that they just threw together as a movie.
Yeah.
And I had kind of forgotten about that, but still, like this relatively soon after that whole fiasco with the movie, that this early in Absolute we'd be doing Black Adam as a combination maybe with Shazam. It's hard not to think that Jason Aaron's not thinking about that stuff.
Yeah, no, it's definitely possible. No, and I was also very surprised by what we do with Ra's al Ghul in this, which is kind of neat with how he's been going since he got beaten.
He gets real humanized here.
Yeah, that was so the first issue after he's beaten was it like 15 where they're like, this is like the new start you can jump on. Superman's whole thing is like, I'm going to redeem Ra's al Ghul. Like he's the worst person in the world. If I can redeem him, like I can redeem anybody.
Yeah.
So like kind of following that's been really cool.
And now he's talking like he wants to be better. And...
Yeah.
I haven't read any of this since just after the first arc. I was shocked by all that. I was like, I can't wait to see him get to this place.
Yeah, no, exactly.
I knew I was going to spoil things for myself, but
Yeah, it's all good.
I've already spent like $25 on this book since I came back to it. I've not read any of it. So
Yeah, you got to read the Parasite issue, and I'm convinced he wrote that after watching Thunderbolts, but I could be wrong. But it's great.
Yeah, you said that. No, I've got to do that.
And then, the last thing I have is Batman.
Batman number 9. So this cover is hilariously misleading because, like, yes, Barbara Gordon is going to go to prison, but she's not wearing a Batgirl suit. Every other Batgirl is, but not her. So, like, this doesn't happen. But yes, she does fall. That happens.
Well, I picked it up and I was like, stupid Barbara Gordon's got to be Batgirl again. Like, that sucks. She should be Oracle. Open up the issue and I'm like, oh, that's what it actually is in the issue.
Well, that's the thing, is she's been Oracle lately. So when I saw that cover, I was already suspicious. I was like, why is she back in the Batgirl suit? We've got Cassandra Cain. I've been buying that book, but I didn't realize Stephanie Brown was
blood thing in this.
I didn't realize Stephanie Brown was also being Batgirl right now, and you know how I feel about the multiple characters of the same mantle thing. I hate it, and we used to, with specifically Batgirl, make a real big deal out of you only get one at a time. Like, if one of them is Batgirl, the other one's got to be called something else, and they all have other monikers.
Yeah.
Like, why does she have to specifically be another Batgirl? Why isn't she Spoiler?
Right.
And if Stephanie Brown wants to be Batgirl, then Cassandra Cain can be Orphan, although I don't like Orphan. I would much prefer her to be Batgirl, and because Spoiler is cool and has an awesome suit.
Yeah.
But no, they both have to be Batgirl at the same time, but Oracle has legs and could also be Batgirl, and she's the original, and hell, she could wear a suit, be behind a computer, do Oracle-y things, and still be Batgirl, but she's the one that's not. I don't understand.
I mean, Tim Drake was also Robin, and Damian is Robin.
Well, that's
there's also two Robins.
Yeah, but you know why that one doesn't bug me as much? Because they don't let Damian do anything as Robin anymore. Like, or not Damian, I'm sorry. They don't let Tim Drake do anything as Robin.
That's true,
anymore.
Actually, yeah.
He shows up, he's got relationship things. That's all he does anymore. His prevailing character trait is he's in a relationship, and that's it. And we don't do anything with him in the suit anymore.
Mm-hmm. He's been kind of important to this. Like, obviously he's quit and he's not in the suit right now, but like, it's clearly building to he's going to have to put the suit on.
Yeah, I'm sure.
He learned how to drive a truck.
Yeah, exactly.
Was that him or was that Damian?
I think that was.
I think it was Tim Drake.
It was Tim Drake, yeah.
Okay, well then I will slightly rescind what I just said, but even prior to this book, I felt that way about Tim Drake.
Country music superstar Tim Drake. He drives a truck as a girlfriend.
It's like he's still, he doesn't have a girlfriend right now. He's got a boyfriend still.
That's true, yeah. Congratulations.
And then they're doing sort of like a weird love triangle. Stephanie Brown is upset with the fact that he's dating a guy, and that's in there.
I kind of like that. I like that it was subtle, where it was like she's just kind of annoyed that he's seeing somebody else because they used to be a thing.
Yeah. I'm not even making a judgment call about it at all. I was just surprised that was in there. Like,
I just thought that was a human moment. I was like, oh, that's
cool. No, I agree. Yeah. I was just a little surprised that we even acknowledged that they had a relationship. Because I feel
that's what I mean. Like,
retcon
I have that
pretty hard.
No, and I have the same Tim Drake complaints that you have. So, like, I feel like in this run, I've been like, oh, okay, he is kind of doing stuff with Tim Drake. And like you said, obviously, like, he's taken him out of the suit, which is part of it. But, like, I don't know, the way it's building, I feel like it's building into a big Tim Drake kind of comeback.
I mean, Fraction is taking his time with a lot of stuff, too. He's moving a lot of pieces in place.
He really is.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what? Just when he comes back in the suit, let him be Red Robin again, okay? Yeah. And then let Stephanie Brown be Spoiler and just freaking give everybody their own mantles like a normal person.
I'm convinced.
I mean, like, you still have the stupid Signal, okay? He could be another Robin. And I'm glad he's not, but he's got a stupid name. I'm sorry, what?
I'm convinced Tim Drake will be Robin, and we set that thing up about Damian going to school, so I feel like he's gonna leave, and Tim Drake will come back and be Robin.
Well, I mean, obviously, I would be fine with that.
Yeah. I feel like that's where we're going.
Anyway, what did you think of this issue?
I thought it was pretty good.
I did too.
It's just the Bat family having to deal with everybody's coming after them, so it's a lot of action, and the cops and Vandal Savage are kind of 3 steps ahead of all of them. And then I also really liked the Bruce and Damian kind of thing going on.
I thought it was
I
very
thought all that stuff was really heartfelt. Yeah, exactly.
It starts with Batman. Typical for Batman is gonna have like the really important role in this plan that he's got, and he's gonna make Damian just kind of like play defense and watch everybody's back. And Damian's like, we've seen this story 100,000 times with these characters. Damian's like, I get the crap job. You don't trust me, Bruce. You've always got to do everything yourself. And Batman, by the end, is like, oh, yeah, you're right. Like, we've been doing this for, like, I know it's a sliding time scale, but like, we've been doing the same crap for, like, 30 years. Maybe I should actually trust you now. And so then he...
specifically because Damian just messed up, like, 4 issues ago? 3 issues ago?
See, I have such a hard time keeping track of everything that happens in this book month to month. I need to just sit down and speed read it.
Yeah, because that's the issue, that date night issue, where Damian outs the Batman, or no, that Bruce is his dad.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then the next issue is like, Bruce, why do you let your kid hang out with Batman? That is great. It's really irresponsible.
But yeah, so it's, he's kind of got to put some of that down after being pissed with him.
I have one gigantic complaint about this, and it's not about the issue. It's editorial stuff. Wouldn't it have been really fun if you didn't know what was going to happen with Barbara Gordon? Doesn't that read like a really exciting, surprising reveal, except they've had to solicit the miniseries that comes after this for months? And so I already knew she was going to prison, and the moment I saw this issue, this cover, I knew exactly what had to happen. It's just like whenever we kill anybody off, like we have to advertise it for months in advance. And like, I love the way Fraction played it, and I hated that I didn't get to be surprised by it.
Now, KO had that really bad, where because of solicitations, we were like slowly just learning who was getting knocked out, like way before issues were coming. And it was like, oh, that kind of sucks.
It's obviously way less impactful in, within the issue. Now, the one kind of, the one thing you get to be surprised by is the twist that she does it on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
I'm spoiling that.
No, exactly. And I really liked her like signing off bit, like all that stuff was really cool. Barbara's always been my favorite of the sidekicks, so I was digging a lot of the stuff we were doing with her.
Yeah. I mean, I liked it a lot. I still wish they'd pick a lane. If she's Oracle, I want her legs not to work. I really do. But whatever.
It'd be really awkward for her to be in prison with wheels. I do not trust that Gotham would have a prison built with ramps.
Yeah, look, I mean, we know.
You know what, though? I would love to see her have to deal with that, though.
Yeah. I'm just saying, there's not a whole lot of Gotham says up to code.
Because, like, immediately she's put in a really adverse sort of situation. Like, how does she even get through that? Like she would go from, like, genius hacker with all this, all these resources at her fingertips to nothing and less than nothing.
Yeah.
And it'd be really cool actually to see that. But
here's the thing, we've seen Arkham Asylum, so we know how Gotham deals with mental health. So they're probably not up to ADA code most places.
Exactly. I'm surprised they even have a woman's prison.
Yeah. Exactly.
She'd have all this like tech in her chair that nobody knows about.
Yeah.
That kind of works out in that perspective.
Yeah.
Damien's like, oh man, they got Barbara, and Bruce is like, don't worry, she'll be out, and she's probably already out.
Yeah, give it a couple hours, she'll be good.
Well, he knows that there's a miniseries coming called Breakout. Like, the series itself tells you she's not going to be there very long, and at least it's going to be, it's not going to take, like, a year and a half, like, Bruce Wayne fugitive.
Oh, yeah.
Remember that?
I do.
We just stretched it for 9 years. Not 9 years.
9
It felt like it. We stretched it forever.
9 years would be crazy.
I know.
It was Bruce Wayne Fugitive and Bruce Wayne. What was it? No, Murderer and then Fugitive.
Bruce Wayne Murderer. Yeah.
Yeah.
DC's like, okay, the the Clone Saga at Spider-Man lasted too long. Let's top that. Let's do a 9-year arc.
Longer.
Well, it was them trying really hard to have another No Man's Land or a Nightfall or something.
Yeah,
because it did not work out.
And you had like Officer Down after that too, where they shoot Commissioner Gordon.
Well, I think Officer Down's what set all that up. I think that happens, and then Bruce Wayne murder.
Yeah,
am I remembering that right?
And then
might be
War
right.
Games after, right? Or is War Games before?
That did give us Gotham Central though, so you know.
Well, okay. I mean, that's true, but it wasn't worth me having to read all of it.
Yeah.
Because somebody requested that at one point. I ended up reading all of it. Oh my god. The only thing more boring than that, I can't even say that. I was going to say Contagion. They're on par.
Right.
And is War Games before or after Murderer or Fugitive?
I want to say after.
That's after.
Yeah.
It's after? Okay. I was trying to think. I thought it was after. Because I feel like that's kind of the last time we tried to do a Nightfall, No Man's Land.
Nicholas Bodo, them spoiling Barbara Gordon breakout was a big mistake by DC. It's a bit of a rock and a hard place kind of thing because you do have to solicit your books.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But that's the problem we keep running into with solicits too, where it's like, okay, just gave away the ending.
It'd be nice if they could have waited to solicit it until this happened, but I guess the question, until we read it, is right now is just how necessary is it to get that story knocked out before whatever else happens with her later? What I mean is, could you have gotten away with Breakout being 2 months after this issue? Because if you could have waited to solicit it until right after this. Mm-hmm. But it's almost like they feel like they have to make it happen immediately after because of some other story arc she'll be involved in. I don't know.
Unless that book was pitched and they were like, hey, Fraction, can you just do an issue quickly where she goes to prison?
That's probably more likely. I didn't think of that.
Yeah, because that was my initial assumption, but it could be the other way around.
I think
it's hard to say. I think
that's more likely, especially since we haven't built to it in any way. And I mean, his book has been intentionally somewhat segmented anyway, but Barbara Gordon's not been a giant part of this book yet.
Mm-hmm. No, and I know Snyder's talked about these next level books. It was a lot of just, hey, creator working at DC, what's the thing that you really want to do? So it is possible.
Yeah, and I forgot that was part of that line.
Mm-hmm. I think that's just all their new books right now. It's just have that on it, all in.
Well, anything else you want to mention about that before we move on?
No, it was pretty good.
I liked it too. Chris?
Yes.
Let's talk about the one thing we both read together, because you actually read something that I read. We both bought this!
And I thought about getting it, I just didn't have time today to get to it, so...
Well, we'll try not to spoil too much for you then, because...
Oh, no. Just, you guys talk about it, it's all good.
Okay, because you're gonna want to read this.
Yes.
I will pick it up.
Just right out the gate, I will... So this is If Destruction Be Our Lot. This is a new Image book by people I don't know.
Yeah.
Matthew and Mark Elijah Rosenberg are writing, so they're a team, and art by Noy McDonald. So this is a... we saw solicits for this last week.
Yeah.
And I read the copy, and I was like, that sounds really cool and very up my alley.
Yeah.
And so I want to take a look at it. It read in the copy like hard R-rated Wall-E.
Yes.
And... it's not exactly that, but the premise is kind of that, where it's a post-apocalyptic future Earth where the Earth is completely overrun by robots and AIs and various kinds of pseudo-sentient robots. It seems like some are a little bit more self-aware than others, and some have more emotions than our protagonist. Seems pretty emotional, although it might just be based on the personality that he's based on, because he is a robot Abraham Lincoln. That's our protagonist is a robot Abraham Lincoln.
I was not expecting that. I opened the book and I
wasn't either.
What?
So anyway, so there's no humans at all, and then some of the robots think that humanity is a myth and never even existed. And then the big hook with this is robot Abraham Lincoln is like real sad that humanity has destroyed itself, and he sees a lot of like potential good stuff in humanity and in all of the like wisdom that Abraham Lincoln had. He believes in that stuff, and he goes through the whole book just like quoting Abraham Lincoln, kind of wisdom nuggets, and a lot of the things that he's saying sound like the ideas that if we as a species had really taken to heart, we would have prevented our destruction. And that's kind of the idea, is that you've got the like in this robot guy, like all of the correct notions and principles in the spirit of what we should be and what should have saved us. And then the big hook is he thinks he sees a human being, and so maybe we're not totally killed off yet. And it's sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say the one thing too.
You just look like you want to say something. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say the one thing that really kind of I wasn't expecting. This isn't a bad thing. Why it starts with Bad Age. It's a lot faster pace than I was expecting. Like I was expecting something
a lot more action-y.
Yeah, like I was expecting something
a little like a Blade Runner kind of pacing.
Yeah, Blade Runner, but also a lot of the monster designs too. A lot of the robot designs. Like this big red guy that tries to kill them.
It's real cinematic.
Yeah.
And it's real it's real kind of action movie. And so it's heady in its way, but it's also like real fun action spectacle. There's a whole lot of chasing and like robot Abraham Lincoln just trying to survive. Like it's kind of a survival piece.
Yeah.
He befriends a train.
Yes.
Which is pretty great.
I love the train so much.
And there's a lot of these machines trying to figure out what they're even for anymore. There's this kind of paradox of we're kind of glad we don't have to deal with the humans anymore, but we're all built to service them, and they're not here anymore. So what's the whole point? And Abraham Lincoln seems to have been designed to like actually be a person and be like exactly Abraham Lincoln. And so he also doesn't know where he fits in, except that he's just trying to get all these robots to understand the tragedy of the end of mankind.
And there's a lot that kind of gets blown by like really quickly. I mean, there are parts of this book that are really meditative. There are parts of this book that really kind of dwell on the human condition. But then you have...
Yeah, it gets real Asimov-y.
It does, yeah. And then you have like little bits where... Again, like the bit where he sees like the outside world.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I mean, it happens and then it moves on real fast too. All of a sudden,
we'll put a pin in that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We'll be back to that.
We'll be back to that too, yeah.
So... gigantic recommendation for me. I'm definitely going to keep going with this. And one of the things I really appreciate about it just as a product, and God, I love Image for this stuff. This is a real oversized issue. It took me... Now, I took my time with it because I was really enjoying it, but it probably took me 35 to 40 minutes to read just this one issue.
Yeah.
And it's like 36, 38 pages, and it's $5.
Yeah. And just the...
That's awesome.
And the art...
I love them for that stuff. And, like, Image is always making, like, first issues, and especially, like, when they're thick like this, and, like, their first trades, cheaper to try to hook you in. But then, in general, they're still cheaper than most of the rest of the industry. They are holding to $4 pretty hard on most things. Yeah. And I don't know how long they'll continue that, but... Anyway, I have not praised them enough for that. They deserve a lot of credit for that.
It must be working for them because they're doing really well right now. At least it seems like you never know behind closed doors, but
Yeah. And the art
they
in
seem
this
to be doing great.
the art in this book is kind of incredible too. Like there's a lot of cool lighting tricks too. Like you have these red eye robots, you have like the police bots with the blues and the reds, and I mean just visually this book is a treat. And again, like, Abraham Lincoln's train friend too. I love the screens that are like the train's face.
Such a beautiful sentence.
His train friend. That's what.
Yeah, I don't want to get too in the weeds with it because I want people to read it.
Yeah.
But of course we spoiled the Abraham Lincoln thing because I don't know how to talk about this without bringing that up.
Yeah,
but
to be fair, it is page 1 too. I mean, it's such a surprise and such like a nice treat that hits you. That especially if you're not expecting it. That we're kind of sorry, everyone. But
that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Is first of all, it's cool that the copy we read said nothing about Abraham Lincoln.
Yes.
I didn't know it going in, and I bought this based on solicitation. But the other thing is, even though you get him on the first page, I didn't know he was going to be the protagonist.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I looked back at the cover, Chris, and I was like, there he is, tiny toward the bottom. I didn't notice that, but I mean, like it's a silhouette, and like you see the top hat, but you don't necessarily put that together. But the way the first few pages read, I really thought it was just introducing us to kind of the quirkiness of this world.
Yeah,
and that he was going to get killed right away.
Yeah.
Because he's giving a speech that he gives every day, and all the other robots around him are just irritated not having it.
This guy,
and like you think he's just gonna get steamrolled, literally.
He's gonna go see a robot play.
And so, it wasn't until page 10 or so that I went, "Oh, this is actually our main character."
Yeah.
Okay.
And especially since a lot of the book is him pretty much getting steamrolled too.
Yeah. So I don't know how long this is supposed to go. I don't know if this is a miniseries or if it's a monthly.
Yeah.
Because I could see it going either way.
Yeah. It might depend how it sells.
But
that sounds like a cooler version of that last Russo film, where for no reason Woody Harrelson plays a robotic Mr. Peanut that's Optimus Prime, and it's like, why is this a thing?
Which movie?
What is it called? So it's based off like a book it was just like pictures, and it's like really solemn, and they were like, we're gonna make it, a Russo blockbuster, and he's Mr. Peanut, like the actual mascot, and he's running around being like, the sentient rights of robots needs to be honored. And it's so weird.
I need to find this now and watch it.
That's like the only good part. So it's not a great movie, but that just on its own is funny.
Real quick, yes, Spider Fan, you can add more things to the wheel if you want to.
Electric State, that's what it's called.
We're not capping off the number of items you can put on the wheel, but just know there's a lot on it now, so we can't promise when it will come up. But you're totally welcome to do that. It becomes sort of like a raffle, except it is likely to happen eventually.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. It's like the lottery, except you always win, so keep buying into it.
Exactly.
And we're doing these as close to weekly as possible. We're at 4 in a row.
Yeah, exactly.
Which we haven't had in a long time.
Yeah.
But we've had a lot of weeks this year where, for various reasons, we haven't managed a Tuesday.
Right.
So, yeah, it's ostensibly a weekly show, but we we're on trips and stuff, sometimes we can't do it. Okay, other things that I bought last week was not a giant week. We'll try to go a little faster next week because we'll have a lot more to talk about.
Yeah.
But you guys, I'm nuts, and you'll see why I'm nuts with some of the other books that I bought that I'll go through a little later. But I bought a book that I liked the cover of last week when we were looking at solicitations, and was considering going ahead and getting. Even though I'm buying all of Spawn in trade, occasionally I'll see that cover, like I keep saying that, I go, even though most of Spawn's really bad, I love the look at this. I've got to get it. And to be fair, I've not been reading more recent stuff, and a lot of it looks more fun than it used to be, but it probably is still totally nonsensical. I don't know. We have pretty hard rebooted, and we were always retconning all through Spawn, but a lot of stuff has massively changed, and I'm hoping that we've kind of held to specific histories and things now that we've decided to change everything at once, but I don't know if I trust that. But so I'm curious about some of this new universe stuff. It's been going for like 4 years now. I think 21 or 22 is when we had the big relaunch, and I think it was 22 that McFarlane called, and we had this like at the ends of some issues, the year of Spawn, which is hilarious because I made Spawn year, and then McFarlane came back with the year of Spawn. But anyway, so
that means he had to look at your show at one point and just be like, "Oh, we can't do that. We gotta make it legally distinct." Tom McFarlane's seen Spawn year.
I want to think that's what happened. I doubt it, but I do know that at least one Spawn creator has seen some of and liked Spawn year. I do know that happened, and I forget who, but there was a writer that I took it over briefly for a few issues that they touted up real hard and acted like was going to keep going, and then McFarlane just cannot leave well enough alone. He's got to come back. But anyway, so one of our viewers sent I forget who it was now, sent that guy.
Right.
It might have been Brian Hallwin.
Oh, nice.
I don't think it was. Who was it? Anyway, I'm not sure. But one of our viewers,
Alan Moore,
sent that guy Spawn year, and
I like this book.
And he seemed to dig it. But anyway, so I bought the first issue of She Spawn because I loved that cover and I could not help myself.
Yeah.
And it was Gail Simone, so I was kind of curious.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see other decent, or I can't even say other, decent talent that I've heard of show up. Now, Gail Simone, I don't think with what I've read the last decade, has been super on her game.
Right.
I did go ahead and read this. I bought this just for the cover. I didn't know if I was even going to read it because I haven't been reading anything around this. I didn't know how well it would stand on its own. And I kind of dug it. This is actually pretty good. Now, I have this with Spawn a lot, where it's like, if I haven't been reading, and then I come into it, it's pretty good. But if I go back and read everything up to it, it's terrible. I don't know if that's how this ends up being.
Enjoy out of context.
But I will say, this is a book that seems designed to be readable out of context. There is quite a decent amount of recapping at the start, particularly about the Scorched, because she's been a major character and maybe even kind of the team leader for that book. I'm not sure because I haven't read any of it. But you get that team, so that's run over 50 issues now.
Yeah.
And so she's been, this is Jessica Priest as a Spawn. And we've retconned her backstory quite a bit, where she is supposed to be a little bit more likable and a little more human than before. She used to just be like a massive sadist, and now she's got a daughter she's got to protect. So something. That's why she decided to be a Spawn.
That's why it's okay to become a hell servant.
Exactly. So I don't know. It's hilarious. Spawn is mostly enjoyed ironically, but there is some actual decent storytelling in this, at least for the setup. So you get the art's awesome, most of it. Although sometimes her face without the mask looks kind of weird to me, but that's my only complaint. All of the in-costume stuff and the action is just awesome and real splashy and fun to look at. But you get some fun like team fighting with them at the start, and then so that team is the Scorched is She Spawn and Haunt and Redeemer and who else? I forget. There's one more. It's like a 4-man team, and it's Medieval Spawn. How do I forget Medieval Spawn?
Yeah.
And then she goes off on her own on this mission against a cult that, get this, has discovered a child that is supposed to save the world in the future, like they know his future, and it's this evil like devil worshipping cult that doesn't want the world saved, so they have to try to kill this kid before he saves the world.
Right.
And then I don't know if anybody's going to care about spoilers for this. I feel like if I spoil the ending, it will be the thing that might get one person to buy it.
Yeah.
I don't know who that person is, but one person. So I will spoil it. So spoilers for this, but she goes to rescue this kid. And when you get to the last page, it's a, like, 9 or 10-year-old Al Simmons.
Oh,
like, what a great hook.
That's cool.
I'm like, well, I gotta know what happens next.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really great hook.
Yeah.
So I don't know what we're doing with that. It might end up being convoluted nonsense. But I appreciate the hustle.
Exactly.
I'll continue with this. And I didn't realize it was a mini. It's only 5 issues.
Right.
So I'll commit to that. The covers are great.
Yeah.
So, at the very least, they'll look nice on a shelf. But I thought Simone did a really good job kind of, like, aping McFarlane's tone. But making more sense than him and getting a lot more done on a page and in an issue.
Yeah.
So it's paced properly.
So good.
I'll go as far as to say, like, just give her the book now.
Well,
just based on that issue. Because it can't,
Oh,
it's got to be more fun than McFarlane. But he's replaced himself pretty recently, and I don't know the new guy, and I haven't read any of that yet.
Right.
But, well, I say that.
If it has a cool cover, you'll read it.
Yeah, well, I'll buy it. I don't think I actually... I'm trying to remember. Did I read that new one I bought? No, I think I did, and it was okay.
Right.
Again, out of any context. But, sorry, what were you going to say, Austin?
I was going to say, Gail Simone, you just did that... Rebel Moon comic when those movies were coming out. This is our chance. Link up Todd McFarlane and Snyder into the Spawn movie.
There you
Make
go.
It happen,
You see?
Gail.
Just let her write the Spawn movie.
Exactly.
Sure, why not?
Just give it... Make things happen. You get all those ingredients in a row, you just shake it.
I know it's faint praise when I'm like, Gail Simone is making this material a lot more fun to read, and so that sounds like a kind of a backhanded compliment.
Yeah.
Because I've not heard like some of the stuff I've heard about her X-Men sounds really awful.
I mean, I've read I've read bits and pieces of it, but stuff. Yeah.
But I did really enjoy this.
Yeah.
So
well, Gail Simone can be a good chameleon at times, where like she knows how to kind of come in and like adapt how she writes to a certain thing.
Yeah.
Thomas Lowe, they brought Al Simmons back just to kill him again like the last time. Well, I don't think he'll die in this. Yeah. There's a cult that is trying to kill this kid version of him. So I'm sure it's some kind of time travel shenanigans.
Yeah.
Or maybe it'll be like an alternate universe thing. I guess it's possible he came from another dimension or something. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. We got another super chat here.
I was just about to read that. So yeah, Spider-Fan $5 super chat. Wonder Woman the contest. I feel like I have maybe some of that, or is that just a one shot? Do you know, Austin?
So off the top of my head, I'm not sure. That might be a one shot or an arc, but I know that run goes for quite a bit, and the covers for that run are quite great.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll put that on the list too. Thanks for the support, man. Really appreciate it.
I got to interview Mike Diatato a few years ago.
Did you?
Yeah. It was when he was doing the AWA books with Straczynski. And it's funny too because I looked at it as like, yeah, like your art's cool. Where'd you get this? And I was kind of struggling with stuff to ask him, and then I realized that I was like the same guy that when Black Panther 2 came out, he was like, that's not how Namor looks. This is how Namor looks. And takes his shirt off and takes like a whole bunch of pictures of him flexing. And I was like, I just thought this guy was a decent artist, and that's all I really wanted to talk to him about. And then I realized this guy's way more colorful than I originally thought.
No, that's like the Stan Lee on The Simpsons bit where he's like, he's not the Hulk, I'm the Hulk. I'm the Hulk. That's ripping at his shirt.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really funny. I'm sorry, Diodato, but like I don't care what kind of shape you're in. Like, as old as you are, to be like, this is what Namor looks like.
He's...
The real question was he wearing Namor Speedos? That's the real question.
I don't think he was. That would have completed the look. It's get a green Speedo and some wigs. You're set. Some wigs for your ankles.
So I've got two more books from last week that I actually read that I'll mention real quick, and then I'll go through a stack of stuff that I bought at a sale. So here is... How are we already into another mini-series of this? Here is more DC Sonic the Hedgehog. Because that needed a sequel.
Yeah,
And of course I'm buying it because my kids really liked that, and I don't know, it's Sonic. I buy a lot of IDW Sonic. Sonic Metal and DC Sonic Metal Legion. So I'm gonna assume we're gonna get more Metal Sonic in here at some point. That's got to happen.
Mixed with DC's Metal or whatever. Dark Knight Metal.
You'd think with that title it would be like that. They're not doing any of that, at least at the start. This is really more and tonally it's the same thing. See, now I wish it was that. Just go bad stuff absurd. This is more of the same, except that. Oh, hold on. I knocked out my camera again somehow. Why does this keep happening?
Oh.
Yeah.
You guys give me a minute, because it drives me nuts.
Yeah, we need whoa, it's the Batman who laughs.
That'd be great.
You'd be I don't know if I needed to see those two characters meet, but
I don't know how many chili dogs this guy can eat.
Well, I think it would be more fun than just more of the same. Maybe this will ramp up and get crazier, but anyway, it's really just an excuse to have even more Justice League and Sonic characters. Well, I should say DC characters in general. I think they said DC instead of Justice League so they could bring in Teen Titans characters and stuff like that. Even with the first one, just thinking ahead, where they're what if we want to do certain characters, and we got to open it all the way up because we're trying to come up with superficial but fun parallels between Sonic and the DC characters. You're not gonna have them all just in the Justice League, because you got to stretch a bit to make that work. So we brought in some Teen Titans stuff. So we got Beast Boy in this now, and I forget who else, but there's more just kind of silly pairings, and you've got Supergirl now with teaming up with Cream and Cheese for some reason. So I don't know what that's about. And then we've got Beast Boy turning into Tails, and then complaining that it's hard to fly with his tails because he's never done that before. Okay.
We got Big the Cat and Professor Pig.
Yeah.
Imagine
you're a girl, Dad's tails.
You had a shot at the beginning with. They're not going to pair these guys off and do a lot with them, I don't think. But you had a shot at the beginning of this with Big the Cat and Aquaman, because he's fishing, and then suddenly Aquaman shows up.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Because now we've got this kind of mystery where a whole bunch of boom tube portals have shown up between. Well, I say a mystery. You, the reader, know very quickly what it is, but the heroes don't. And anyway, there's all these portals everywhere suddenly that go between both universes. So when you catch up with it at the beginning of this, for a few weeks they've been dealing with this, where now they're just all going back and forth and meeting each other. And there's a lot of crossovers that will do this, where it just becomes kind of a standard status quo, where these people hang out together all the time. And there's a team up with Lex and Eggman, and they're making that happen for some reason. They've got machinations, and they're going to do some kind of big Legion of Doom thing. But anyway, like I said, there's never a lot to say with these. It's just the novelty of seeing these things next to each other, and they keep coming up with stupid reasons to have Sonic characters in DC superhero suits. And I say reasons. There's actually no reasons. Yeah. They just do it, and I don't know why. But they're not all doing it at the start of this. It's just Amy with Wonder Woman, and then at the end, I can't remember who. Somebody gets a bat suit. It's you gotta wear this. I don't know why. So they can make action figures, that's why.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
Yeah. I use Shadow as Batman, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've got a big scene.
I mean, look, when they make the next Sonic game, and they have like alternate costumes.
Oh sure.
Yeah, exactly. They make Sonic Adventures 3.
They're gonna put Cream the Rabbit in Injustice 3 as a guest character.
Exactly.
Dude, if
But
they
no
ever
one
made an
else,
Injustice
just
3,
her.
I
Yeah.
guarantee you Sonic shows up in that.
I want Sonic to show up in the next Mortal Kombat. Instead.
I mean, he already does the buzzsaw thing. It's only one step,
Yeah,
away
exactly. They don't even have to change the animation.
Exactly.
The last thing I read from last week is Batgirl 19, which is the end of this crazy blood arc where where Cassandra Cain, as I keep talking about, is able to literally take her blood out of herself and whip it around like a Venom symbiote. It's kind of great. I liked the ending of this arc. Okay, I think the family themes were laid on massively thick. I get it. It works okay, but it's just really obvious, and I've always felt like this book is overwritten. My disappointment with it is that there was a really easy way to have Batgirl hang on to the blood powers, and I kind of wish she'd done that, just because it's fun and it's a different thing, and it would have been cool if she had it longer. So she only gets those powers for like 3 or 4 issues. They make such a big deal out of it, and they do such cool covers with it that I don't know, like there's this whole, because Batgirl's gotten very occult and supernatural, and so there's this whole kind of curse, like, deal with sort of a devil from another universe that apparently goes back. There's this deal that goes back generations in her family that leads to her ultimately winding up with this blood thing. And so, like, I mentioned this last time, you're supposed to have to do all this training to be able to do it, but she just winds up with it like as a curse automatically. We finally find out in this why that is, and her uncle, because she's been palling around with a bunch of people in her actual family, so we do this really obvious blood metaphor where like it's about family blood, but there's this physical blood motif. It's like, okay, we get it.
Yeah.
But anyway, her uncle does sort of like the Doctor Strange movie Dormammu thing, and kind of tricks this like, what am I trying to say? Not devil, like demon thing, to change the deal with her family, and so she's able to lose the blood thing. And I don't know, I kind of wish they'd kept it around for like at least another arc.
Cool.
But
Yeah.
so it ended okay, but it's overwritten. It's not Psylocke overwritten, but
Yeah.
it's overwritten.
Does have that Claremont DNA.
Yeah. Dude, I've gotten to where with that book I just skim it. I cannot read every word in that book. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I kind of want to drop it just because of that. Like, I love, again, I know I was saying this, I love the covers, and I like the interior art, and the story's okay, but like, I can't tell how long it's gonna go.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna maybe end up just being a miniseries. If I drop it, I'll lose like 1 issue.
Right.
It's like I want to finish it, but then I don't know if it's gonna keep going or not.
So many walls of text you can take too.
Yeah. No, I want to read those in like 4 sittings. Anyway, so like I said, I'm a crazy person. I have a big stack of books, and everything else I bought last week is Spawn related. Yeah,
Oh no.
So
While you're doing that, I'm gonna grab a drink, but I'll just bring my computer with me. So just keep
like,
talking.
I don't want to hear about this. Goodbye.
No,
If you grab
still-
a drink,
still
don't
listening.
grab Mountain
I'm
Dew. That's all I'm saying.
No, never.
And now we get another tour of Austin's house.
Exactly.
So is this...
You can keep going. Sorry.
Austin, is this the actual house you live in, or are you at your mom's house?
Yeah. So I was dog sitting, and then they just got home today. That's why I was late. I had to pick them up at the airport.
Okay.
But I live like an hour away, so it was easier just to stay the night.
Yeah, makes sense.
Sometimes it's hard for me to remember with your backgrounds, like where you are. But I figure if you were at your house, you'd probably have your regular background.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
It's a journey here.
I did it. I went the distance.
He's going the distance.
So I showed some Spawn trades last week that I bought. I had one straggler, which is the Bendis. Well, Bendis didn't write all of this. He wrote, I think, the first arc, and then was it Holguin maybe that did the rest of it. But anyway, this is Hellspawn, which came out in the late 90s, early 2000s, somewhere, I forget. I had really weird kind of surreal art that I always found a little off-putting, kind of hard to like keep track of a story with. Some of the original Sam and Twitch case files was like that, and I reviewed those in Spawn Year. This I've never fully read. I think I had an issue or two of it, but I didn't do this in Spawn Year. And like I said, I'm trying to get a full trade collection and eventually have all this stuff on my shelf. So I found this real cheap on Amazon. Somebody was selling a used copy for like $6, and so I went ahead and picked that up. But I've always heard really good things about this. And I like Bendis' Sam and Twitch a ton, so I am excited to finally sit down and take a look at this. And then I bought a copy of Spawn 315 because it's a Capullo sketch cover, or not like sketch cover like it's original, but you know, did it like a sketch. It's not colored. As soon as I showed this to my wife, she was like, because my wife won't read Spawn but loves the look of Spawn. It's like, oh, that's an awesome cover. You should color it. That's what she said. She's like, get out some colored pencils and color it.
Finish it!
I don't think I'm gonna do that. So my shop had a big Mother's Day sale this weekend, and I'm convinced the only reason they did a Mother's Day sale is because they would usually do a sale during Free Comic Book Day, but they had a convention to go to, so they had too much of their stock in the store out that day, so they didn't do a sale during Free Comic Book Day. So they were trying to find a really close weekend. So like, we'll make it a Mother's Day sale.
Yeah.
So they did their usual like crazy. Their sales are crazy. Where they do like $4 books for $1. So I always bring Mikey, and he'll spend $10-$20 and get a ton of comics. And they'll do buy one get one on $5 books, and so I bought a bunch of Spawn stuff that I usually wouldn't get for cover or for $5 a piece, but for half of that I decided to go ahead and grab some of this. So since I got very impulsive, Austin. Since I ended up liking this so much, I decided, why the hell not? I'm collecting her now. And so I bought a bunch of Scorched covers with She-Spawn, because I like her look a lot. And I was like, why not? I'll eventually get all of this in trade, so I'm not going for a complete collection of this in singles, but I will collect her. So I got, I think, maybe 6 covers with this character. And so I'm collecting her like I'm collecting Angela now, which is fun. And some of them have these other characters with them, which are fun. And this one is a goofy ass shot, but there it is. And then this is just a regular Spawn issue, but she's on it, so I bought it. And she's on a cool like Hell motorcycle. So I got that. And then I finally rebought some old, really early Spawn that I sold a long time ago. So like I said, I'm not going to rebuy my whole collection, but I do miss having some of the earliest issues. And so I will probably try to get up to 50. I might at some point go all the way to 100. I'm not going to actively collect past that, but at least the first 30, but probably the first 50. So anyway, got 3 again. These were only two 250, so I went ahead and did this. And I've ordered a really good copy of Spawn 1 again, just because it's really weird not having that. So I did go ahead and grab that. So here's 8. Here is 11. Yeah, so I've got all this stuff again.
You're going full Denny O'Neil relapse Tony Stark.
Yeah, I was gonna say no. This is a problem.
He's gonna look up as a 5 o'clock shadow and like an issue of Spawn.
I should also say these have been in the shop for like a year and nobody's bought them. And with that sale, I was finally like, fine.
It's destiny at that point.
Fine.
Yeah.
I'll do it. Whatever. I just love these early Spawn covers. So anyway, you guys talk amongst yourself. I'll just finish,
go through the list.
Finish showing these. Yeah. I got the first issue of the new Sam and Twitch case files because I really like the art on that cover and because it's Krudansky and I love Krudansky. And then I got the first issue of King Spawn just because it's got a bunch of the sporting cast of the cover and I thought it was kind of a neat cover. And because it's buy one get one, so I had to get like an even number. And I bought the second issue of King Spawn because it's the classic Billy Kincaid last panel of issue 5, but on the cover, and he says I'm back, and I was like, I don't know how to not buy that, so I grabbed that too. Anyway, so
it is funny. Like I bought King Spawn #1 because it had to be an even number of books. I also bought King Spawn #2.
Look, had to be an even number.
Well, I think it ultimately was an even number. Though.
Yeah.
No, I know. It was just funny. Like it made it sound like you only picked up issue 1, so that it was an even number.
No, it was. Because I almost put that back. 2 was the one I really wanted.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, fair enough.
Because of that Billy Kincaid cover. But anyway, we can move past my bizarre addiction. Because I am a little bit self-conscious about this. It's our comic show, so I show you guys everything.
You can indulge, you're good.
But anyway, yeah. Nope, I've lost my mind.
It was about to happen. It's all right.
And Braden says we're going to look away, and next thing we know, Cap is going to be drinking Mountain Dew again. No, something's happening.
We would stop you. We'd be like, no.
But I don't feel bad about it.
Just own it. Just own the Spawn.
The first step is admitting you have a problem, Cap.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, what else did you bring,
I have
Chris?
one other thing that I bought solely because of the title. This is Hank Howard, Pizza Detective #1. Which is exactly what it sounds like. It is a man...
He's investigating...
Pizza crimes.
Pizza crimes.
And, like, here's the thing.
A more crisp book has never...
I was trying to work it out in my head, because I'm like, I could see it either way. I'm like, is he pizza? Is he investigating... Is he investigating pizza
He's
crimes?
on the trail of Pizza the Hut.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, he could be... like a pizza delivery guy that's a detective. Like there's multiple ways in which
and there's like a backstory involving his grandmother who would always make a pizza, and like it opens at her funeral, but at the end it turns out it might be murder.
So what are pizza crimes? People steal pizza, or they forget to leave a tip?
Which is not a full crime, it's a pizza crime.
It's a pizza crime. I mean, at one point, there is a poisoning. Yeah, there is a guy who gets poisoned by poisoned pizza.
Oh, okay. So, like, serious
pizza crime. Because, at the end, he realizes he's on the trail of a murderer, too. And, like, there's...
Pizza arson.
Yeah. And apparently, this is, like, the second of the pizza crime stories, too. And then there's actually... Oh, wow. There's actually a little sample of Megalith the Olympus Saga,
whatever that is.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look, whatever it is, it looks pretty decent, you know.
I really like the giant pizza cutter.
Yeah.
In the back, though.
Yeah, I mean that's. I
don't think it's actually a giant pizza, but there's a.
Oh no, it is. That's like the. That's the cover for the next issue.
Yeah, see, that's the cover of the next issue.
Yeah.
There's a big pizza cutter.
The big pizza cutter, too.
That's great.
Which is a recurrent motif.
Cover, and I immediately thought of the shower scene in Psycho, but with a pizza cutter.
Yeah, exactly.
He comes in and it's like...
But the funny thing, too, is for the most part, it's played relatively straight. I mean...
It looks like it, yeah.
Yeah, there's like a femme fatale. This guy.
I want to read this.
It's like a full noir thing. That sounds cool.
Yeah, really.
The art looks great.
It does, yeah.
And it looks real like mid-'80s indie throwback to me.
Right.
Like, it's not far away from... I mean, you said it's taking itself seriously, and it is, but it's the face designs are like a little cartoony.
Yeah,
like it's pretty Ben Edlund looking.
A little bit, actually. Yeah. I will say though that I think they go out of their way to make the pizza look as disgusting as possible. Like, they don't make the pizzas attractive. This is hard-boiled pizza.
These are not attractive pizzas.
This is a hard-boiled pizza.
Yeah.
You are not going to want to ask that pizza on a date.
You are not, no.
No.
There's also... But yeah, I mean, there's even, like...
Chris, I'm going to read that.
Yeah.
That sounds wonderful.
This was one of those, I got this... The shop I got this at, I was there... And as I'm checking out, a guy runs over and starts going like, "Oh, dude, that book is so good." It's like, all right, cool, yeah. Some random guy who I think works at the shop, maybe.
He just hangs around and is like, if somebody picks that up.
Yeah.
Oh, we already talked about
make
this.
sure
That's Bad Idea Comics.
Bad Idea put this out too. And like, Bad Idea.
That's a great idea.
It is a great idea.
Yeah, you gotta change your name.
What's it called again?
Hank Howard Pizza Detective.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta get my hands on that.
Yeah.
I usually go for the really obscure looking indie stuff that Chris does.
Yeah.
But I'll make an exception for that.
This was just one.
I'm a sucker for goofy crap about pizza.
Exactly.
I don't
know
why.
It was just one that I bought purely because of the title. And I was not disappointed.
I might have too if I'd seen that.
Yeah. Again, Bad Idea is a publisher that, again, had like a weird origin story involving like a button on their website.
Yeah.
But a lot of the stuff they have put out is really quirky and weird, but interesting. Like I said, the first book I ever read from them was that ENIAC book where the ENIAC computer becomes self-aware and launches nukes.
559 put another thing on the wheel. Thanks a lot, everybody, for all the wheel requests tonight. We're up to 6. My recommendation for the wheel is Aquaman Time and Tide by Peter David.
Cool. Peter David Aquaman is something that's been kind of on my list.
I was going to say, I feel like I've read something from that.
Yeah. I mean, is that the one where... Is that the Hook Hand one? Is that where Ocean Master... Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and I own the trades of it, but I don't know that it's ever been fully traded.
I got the... Oh, when they did those big, like, anniversary collections of, like, individual DC characters. Like, they had, like, 80 years of Superman, 80 years of Batman.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I got that for Aquaman on digital. And I think that was at least part of that. The important part was in that. So
I'm just getting the wheel put back together here.
Yeah.
Because every time somebody puts something on here, I've got to remake this real fast.
Yeah.
We have so many on the wheel now, you can't even read the titles.
Yeah, it's a pretty decent-sized wheel now, yeah.
Okay, let's move on now to Cover of the Week. And apologies in advance for today's Cover of the Week. This is Jennica 2, which Chris accidentally read Jennica 1.
But then I powered through and read Jennica 2 real fast on my phone.
Oh, no.
He didn't power through. He skimmed it.
Yeah, skimmed it pretty well.
On his phone
like,
while the opening music was going.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
That is fair. You could do that with this.
Right.
Yeah.
But anyway, this is Monsters. So Jennica 2 is a 5-issue miniseries that I only bought the first issue of. apparently. I didn't even know if I had all of this. I didn't remember reading this, but I must have either read this and been like, no thanks, or I was just buying up at that time most of the Turtle stuff that was coming out, and this might have been, like, some of it I was stacking and not getting to, and this might have been right around the time that I just quit buying Turtles, because this is kind of late. This is 2020, and I stopped regularly...
End of 2020, too.
And I stopped regularly going to the comic shop, like, just before that.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of surprised I even have this.
I will say, reading this, Jennica 1, so much better.
Is it?
So much better, yeah.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, like, I read... I mean, yeah, Cap's right, too. I read the first issue, and which is basically... It's not quite an origin story, but there's a lot of flashbacks, and there are a lot of tie-ins to, like, her backstory as a character. And I was like, all right, I'm actually getting into this. I'm actually getting into, like, her, like, character arc and her inner conflict as mutate who was once human, and seeing kind of the life she left behind and how that life comes back. And it's like, all right, I'm getting behind this. And that's not the book we read.
No.
That's not the book we read.
Well, this could have been, and maybe as it goes, it will matter more that it's specifically Jennica.
Yeah.
This could have been any of the other Turtles.
Right.
This could have been one of the Mutanimals. This could have been the Mondo Gecko book.
Yes. I would read the Mondo Gecko
for tax
book.
purposes. Yeah, it could have been multiple things.
What, I just missed what you said, Austin.
I said it could have been written off for tax purposes. Like, it could have been many things.
It could have been Wile E. Coyote versus Acme.
Austin, set up the situation with us for us.
Yes. So I guess people will become mutants, and the city is like, herder, we don't like them, mutants. And then they build a wall around, and inside the wall where all the mutants are, there's now mutants turning into monsters, and people want to record the monsters and put them onto their Instawebs. And Jennica is like, don't do that. It'll make us look bad.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, and she's like, against all odds,
Yeah.
thinking she can get people to not post crazy things they filmed to social media. Why bother?
Yeah, exactly. And Jennica looks like a green Caillou, and just everything about it is bad.
So, half of your synopsis, though, is what the status quo for Turtles has been for quite a while before this. And that's a lot of why I lost interest. This whole mutates in a tenement city in New York City that, like, develop a community, and they're kind of, like, ostracized by the outside world. The whole thing was just dull and uninteresting to me. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know where you go from there once this becomes your Ninja Turtle status quo. And it has been now for years, and like we're just sort of stuck with it. Like I was telling Chris this before we started. Yeah. Unless you did like a House of M or something, I don't like I feel like you're kind of stuck with this forever,
right?
And it's kind of too X-Men-y.
Yeah,
like it just feels like you're stuck in this holding pattern. And I also don't. I also have never totally like bought the premise of it entirely. Where like everybody is reacting to the mutants in this like they do X-Men.
Yeah.
With X-Men, it's like people that are born with these powers and people are jealous of them.
Right.
And here it's almost exclusively, well, it's one of two things, and we lump these two things together, which is weird because each of them would be totally different experiences people would have.
Yeah.
So you're either, and this is just like basic Ninja Turtle stuff, but like you're either a animal, like just a regular animal that got hit with ooze, and then you're mutated, and now you are humanized, and you have like an intellect now, or you were a human being and you got mixed with an animal, and to become this other thing. Either way you slice it, I just feel like the situation is pretty different. From like an X-Men, and I get why people wouldn't like know how to identify with the Turtles, but when like half of them were just people in the first place, you'd think that at least a good amount of people, I don't know if it would be the majority, like you get your typical like people hate and fear what they don't understand. Yeah, I get that, but you'd think there would be a whole lot of people that would be friends with someone that this happened to. So it's like, oh, Jerry down the street turned into a rhinoceros. I don't like that guy anymore. I hate and fear him because I don't understand him now. I don't know that most everyone would be like that. And I also
build a wall.
And so that makes me think, well, yeah, because now we got to make it like internment camps and stuff. And it's like, what exactly is the social commentary with this? Like, is it about is it an immigration thing, but like they'd be there in the first place? Like, is it xenophobia, but they'd be there in the first? You see what I'm saying? Like,
and I think in a better book, you could explore that. You could have like the people who saw their friends turn into hybrids, turn into mutates, and having to struggle with like their neighbors who are suspicious. And it's like, no, that's Jerry. You're like, yeah, but is it? You can build something off that.
No, absolutely.
So.
But it does overall make more sense to me with the animals that are changed.
Yeah, exactly. And.
Because, like, that is actually a different species. That's alienation. Like, it always made sense with the Ninja Turtle.
Yeah, exactly, too. I'm glad I actually read Jennica 1 first. Because it sort of highlights what this book isn't. Because that book very much was character-driven. That got into, like, the psychology of the characters. That got into some interpersonal drama. And, even though there were some choices, like, apparently Casey Jones is her ex-boyfriend.
Yeah.
But coming from that to this, it almost feels like, all right, we did the story we wanted to tell, but now what's left? That we have to do something else. And then we have this plot about, like, mutants mutating further. And
which isn't a bad premise.
Isn't a bad premise.
And the idea that all these mutates are worried that this is going to happen to all of them.
Yeah,
and they're going to degenerate into monsters.
It's something you could build off of, too. It's something that I think...
It's also a thing we've done with Turtles.
Yeah, so it kind of felt a little just me power reading just while... But, so it did fall a little flat, just at least from my first reading, compared to what had actually come before and what I thought was actually kind of good storytelling, good world building comparatively. So
the worst thing in this entire issue is near the end of it, where there's a big monstrous thing throwing people around, like eating at them, attacking them, and Jennica is talking to Not Morbius, and she's like, I know that you did this, and he's like, I didn't do it, I have nothing to do with this. And she's like, I don't know, and it's like this really long back and forth, and in the background this creature is killing all these people. I'm like, I hate this character.
Yeah.
Well, and I think we're supposed to be ingratiated to her because she's overwhelmed by like just how difficult this job is that she's taken on for herself, and like she's messing up a lot, and I think it's supposed to feel kind of Spider-Man-ish. But she just seems sort of incompetent.
I mean, it's amazing too, Spider-Man-y, where I'm like, Spider-Man when he's written well is like stopping the bad guy and making a joke while doing it. She's like just stopped and like rambling while people are dying, and I'm like, you are so unlikable. Like, I don't like you as a hero.
She seems written a lot more immature than she is in the main book.
Yeah.
And that I've seen her in other places. And again, keep in mind, I can't remember if it's 18 or 19 when it happens, but like she's been a turtle for a while now. Yeah. And this reads like it's her first day or something.
Yeah. Oh, that's brutal.
And so that's weird. Also, the art is just hard to look at.
Yeah.
And the coloring doesn't help. Like it's so muted, and there's like 3 colors in the whole thing.
And it's weird too because that's something that was also a downgrade from 1 to 2. How this was muted, where 1 was a lot more colorful.
Well, it thinks it's doing some sort of stylistic thing.
Yeah.
And like maybe with the right.
It just looks like it was drawn on like Go Animate. Like it looks so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's rough. Like I said, I think the premise of it's okay.
Yeah.
That initial idea of oh no, there's the mutates are mutating. She sees this giant hyena, and she goes, "What the hell is that?" And I'm like, "It's a hyena."
Yeah.
Like obvious.
What are you, 3?
Yeah.
I know you look like Caillou, but I'm pretty sure you're an
green
adult.
Caillou.
So yeah, this is one of those. This is one of those books where I own the first issue and I never bothered with the rest of it. So I don't know if I'll ever know if this improves or not because I don't know if I'll bother to read the rest of it. But I'm with Austin. I don't think I hated it as much as Austin did, but like it's not good.
Yeah.
I was painful. Like this issue is rough.
Yeah.
And I was just never on board with the Jennica thing in general. Like I tried to be open-minded and give it a chance, of course. But my thing with it was like it just felt really super forced. It's like that was already a supporting character that we had.
Right.
At this point, she's been a turtle for so long. I think a lot of people don't even realize she was like a human being first.
Yeah.
Like I said, she dated Casey Jones. I think she might be ex-Purple Dragons or something. I cannot remember.
Yeah.
It's been so long. She had like a street level thing.
She was in prison for a while.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I don't know the idea of like trying to force a 5th turtle like out of a character that you have already. They're like, oh, now she's a Ninja Turtle. You could have a character you had already, or bring in somebody new that for some reason like joins the turtles and lives with them or something. But like to create a turtle like that,
right.
Through some kind of convoluted blood transfusion thing, I never liked that. It never really sat well with me.
Yeah.
Well, it just sounds like, because we've talked about this before, but like the Ninja Turtles, just like the 4 of them as archetypes are like perfect and like a perfect match that you kind of can't really add to.
Yeah.
So when we did it with Venus de Milo, it's like, well, you have their archetypes. What other archetype do you add? A girl.
Yeah.
And it sounds like Jennica is the
principle.
opposite, where they overthink it. Where it's like, that's obviously like, well, she's the female one, but it's like, well, she's got like this and this and this, and like her backstory is like all crazy. Like it sounds like maybe just overthought.
You can have like too many gimmicks.
And then you end up with the problem of, and like, I think the main reason they did it really was just it was still the same thing with Venus. We just want a girl one. I mean, it's pretty obvious that that's the case because
of course,
as soon as like just after it happens, Waltz leaves. We bring on a different writer, and it's all about her, or way too much of it ends up being about her. And it's like they're trying to bring in a completely different audience for the book, and it lost me. And I know I'm not alone.
Yeah.
It just wasn't for me anymore, and I felt like it was kind of for a different audience.
Right.
And it started to read like almost Spawn decompressed.
Right.
Whereas like it would take 8-10 issues to get 2 issues worth of material. And Austin, you make a really good point. Because if you overcompensate that hard and you make a character like so complicated to look like it's not there for superficial reasons, well then you can't help but just have that character completely take over the blog.
Yeah.
Well, and the turtles are archetypes. Like that's part of the core. Like it's part of why it works.
Yeah.
So like it sounds like if you overcomplicate that trying to add a new one, it's just as bad as Venus de Milo just being like, I don't know, girl. That's the archetype.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know people have even kind of talked about how the Turtles are like a great reference for like any sort of ensemble storytelling, because they are so archetypal, and they are I think the phrase TV tropes used, because here I am quoting TV tropes, I do apologize, is the four-man band, where you have these characters that fulfill like kind of really broad ideas, but still kind of add up to like a greater whole. Like you've got like the Leonardo, who's the balance character to tie everything together, but then you've got like the brains, the brawn, and like the id, you know. So
yeah, exactly. It's like them and the FF.
yeah.
It really is a fifth wheel, and it's funny because there are a lot of 5-man teams and things.
Yeah.
You know, like there's a lot of things that start with it where it makes sense.
Yeah.
Your Captain Planets and your Power Rangers, and like there's a lot of fight, and like that's Tokusatsu going all the way.
Oh, for sure, yeah,
pretty far
absolutely,
back, not all the way back,
Yeah.
Because that starts with like 1-man teams, and there's
with, like,
there's some
Kamen
3-man
Rider.
teams, but there's a lot. I don't know what it is with 5s.
Yeah.
But like we did that with kids stuff a lot in the 90s, where
Well,
there was like 5 kids
It
come together
balances
to
too.
do a thing.
Like you've got your like point person in the middle, and then you've got 2 on either side, and you can kind of go from there and figure out how they work as a dynamic. So
Animorphs was fine.
Animorphs
Like
fine, yeah.
everything is fine.
exactly, yeah.
But yeah, to just try to shove something into that dynamic. The other thing that's weird about it, with making it a pre-existing character, is then you've got, and obviously like it's not a sister.
Yeah.
But you've got 4 characters named after Renaissance painters, and then this chick named Jennica.
Yeah.
Even Venus de Milo's awkward, but like they tried to make it work.
Very
but like
related.
Yeah,
like that didn't
work. They
work.
just make April the 5th turtle.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. I always thought they should have like an evil turtle named Caravaggio, who just like cuts people's heads off and stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
IDW, this is your 5th turtle.
Exactly. Yeah. Pay me.
He's the Shadow the Hedgehog of turtles. He's great.
I mean, to be fair, obviously we have Slash. Like we do an evil turtle.
We do. Yeah, we do.
But with and then we'll move on. But like Austin, the 2012 show, I tried to in spirit treat April like the 5th turtle. So like they didn't turn her into a turtle. But they were like, well, she's always kind of been a part of that team. So we aged her a little younger, so she was more like a teenager. And then we gave her a T-shirt with a 5 on it. Like they did that on purpose, and it really worked for that show. The whole Donatello pining after her and being in love with her thing did not work.
Yeah.
But
I was going to cycle it out. One of them has to be into April.
Yeah. At least it wasn't all of them at the same time.
Like that Oprah special. Well, I guess it was really special, but I will say,
and episodes of that cartoon show did that.
Yeah.
But anyway,
I will say, Jennica 1, much better.
Let's go ahead and shake the phone. And hopefully we get something better this time, Chris.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah, Jennica 1.
Jennica 1, exactly.
I think I have that, actually. Are you ready for shaking the phone?
I'm ready.
You skipped Jennica 1 and bought Jennica 2?
I don't know what happened. It's been a few years. I don't know.
Well, in that case, there's a much better comic out there that you can look forward to.
Well, that's only 3 issues.
It's only 3, mercifully 3 issues.
You don't even have to buy as much. Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, go ahead and shake the phone, Chris. Right. Let's see what we wind up with here.
Oh, it's a detective.
Oh, look at that. That's great. This is my Matrix variant cover for this, too.
Oh, nice.
Cool. Okay, so this is Detective 40 from 2015. So this is after the renumbering.
Right.
And this is... Are we at Rebirth at this point, or is this still New 52? I'm not even sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure off the top of my head.
But I'll pull this up. So I have a cool variant cover that is. This was a month where they were doing a whole bunch of like movie parody covers.
Yeah.
And so I got this Matrix cover, Detective 40. And yeah, this is like a $30 book.
Oh no.
With this variant.
I love how Red Hood is Morpheus.
Yeah, Red Hood is Morpheus.
That is great.
Yeah, no, this cover is hilarious. I don't know what happens in this issue. I probably have never read this issue. I just bought it for that cover.
Yeah.
Neo, do you want the red pill, or shall I beat you with a crowbar? Whoa!
Yeah, this is perfect. This is why we call it cover of the week and not comic of the week. Like we're reading these and talking about them thoroughly, but it's really just about the cover. Because I buy a lot for that. 559 Jennica sounds better than Venus at least. Yeah, but then they added they brought her in too, and like I don't think she actually lived with the Turtles, but they did her after Jennica. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like a whole TMNT Unlimited.
Exactly. And then she just showed up in that Power Rangers crossover for no reason at all.
Yeah, she was like so popped up like, "Hi, I'm here too."
Like, yeah, I'm here too.
That's because with Power Rangers, because that's what that was.
Well, yeah, I know, but she was just there, and she did nothing, and she didn't fight or anything. And then
that's because nobody wants to do anything with Venus, but like you're crossing those things over, she has to be there.
She's there.
Yeah, but it's the third one.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to bring her in and you're going to introduce her as a character, like, do a story with it. She just shows up. It was in the last issue.
Yeah.
So freaking weird. But you're right. That's the place to do it. But then, the thing is, it would have been cool if they hadn't done it in IDW.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because IDW already did it. I don't know.
Well, it was a Venus Renaissance, if you will.
Let's sure. Let's get into our featured book now. Did I miss anything?
No, I think we got most of it.
Okay, cool.
Nope.
So here comes our featured book. It's Escape. And we wound up with this on the wheel at exactly the right time because the 6 issues have come out. So this is the end of the first arc, and so perfect time to jump on if you read this and like it. And I don't know who wouldn't.
Yeah.
Austin.
No, and 7 is in like 2 weeks. I looked it up because I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
So, set this up a little bit, Austin, and tell us why you put this on the wheel.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked a bit about this. I've obviously reviewed at least a couple issues on this show.
Yeah.
And it was my number 1 on that top 10 list we did for best books we read last year.
About that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, yeah, I picked this up just kind of whim. I was like, what's this war book? Oh, like it's like an animal guy, like a bear guy, like that.
Yeah.
I don't know what that's about, but I'll check this out. And I read it, and issue 1 like blew me away. I was like, this is amazing. This is wonderful. Like hooked instantly. And just, like month to month, I thought this was the best book I was reading. Like better than like the Energon stuff that I was loving, the Universal Monster stuff, like all that stuff. I was like, this is the best book I'm reading. It's just wonderful. It's got a great sense of action. It's very heartfelt and emotional. And like Remender in a letter at the end of issue 1 and in the letters pages, we'll talk about like his kind of personal ties to it with his family. And like you can just really tell that this was like a really important thing for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, his grandfather was a pilot in World War II, and apparently had some like really major important contribution in World War II that that like really mattered and really helped sway things.
Right.
And part of
and left like real scars on his family.
Yeah. And a lot of at least some of what the book is about is like the unsung heroes in war and these like massive sacrifices and like the courageous heroic things that people will do that no one will ever know about and that do not wind up in the history books.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's really sweet. I think it's issue 3, maybe at the beginning of the letter, or no, maybe it's 4. I don't know. One of the issues, at the start of the letters pages, he's got like pictures that he found of his grandfather as a pilot. Yeah, and like that stuff's really cool.
Yeah, I read the full letter from issue 1, and then I was at crunch time when I got to 3, and so I wasn't able to read all of that. But I looked over. Yeah. I will go back and take a look at that.
I'll do the same too because I kind of like powered through a lot of the letter stuff. I didn't really spend as much time as one of those as I'd like to.
Well, and Remender's cool. He is printing every single letter.
Yeah.
And so his letters pages will be like 9 pages long.
Yeah.
And he started getting so many letters that he was like, I'm not going to respond to everything, but I'm going to print them. And it was really cool.
Mm-hmm. No, it is really cool. And yeah, one of the things, like one of the pictures is his grandfather used to do like the plane tour thing that our protagonist in this book does before he joins the war.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that's so cool.
That is, yeah.
Austin,
yeah,
this felt like and I don't know if I'm overstating things. I don't feel like I am. This is like a once in a generation sort of book. If there is such a thing as an instant classic, like you're looking at it.
Yeah, that's exactly how I felt.
I was so over the moon about 2 Jeff Johns books last year. I talked up real hard both Geiger and Hyde Street, thank you. And those were the best things I thought I read last year. And if I had read this last year, it would have eclipsed them.
Yeah.
And it's just in another sort of category. Like they're such different things.
Yeah.
This gets to the heart of the what's the right word. Sometimes I wish we opened with the featured books because like I've been talking for 3 hours and now I got to get in depth about something, and especially something like as complex and heavy as this. Like I want to really give it its due.
Yeah.
But it gets to the meat and the heart of the of like the tragedy of war and like what it does to people in a way I've not really read before. And like I've read a lot of things and watched a lot of things that obviously cover this kind of material. But Remender is so articulate about it. And like his characters really come alive, but like you can see so much of him on the page. And not in a like the characters are too much mouthpieces for the writer, but just I don't know. It's like there's a great character study happening with our protagonist, and I feel like there's a character study happening for Remender and his grandfather at the same time.
Yeah, I mean
this is a window into their soul.
It is. Yeah. It's a very very personal work. You can tell that with like every single page, and that first issue, I wasn't expecting there to be like one survivor of the Flying Fortress here. Like when Magoo got it, I was like, oh no, I've known this character for like 5 pages. Why am I crying? This is a dog in a plane. I mean, yeah, it's...
You didn't think an adaptation of Star Fox could be this sad.
I know! They really can't let you do that, Star Fox!
Here we are!
Why didn't you do a barrel roll, Magoo? Why?
No, and like, you live with that team for like, what, 10 pages? 5 pages, you said? And like... I love all of them. Like, it sucks that they all die. Like, it's awful.
It feels incredibly real, but there's also throughout the whole book, and starting with this first issue, you've got all of these just excellent layered arguments where you're always seeing both sides of it, and everything is always more complicated than just here are the good guys and here are the bad guys. And it's a thinly veiled World War II situations. Like I can't say allegory, but like all the names are different, but like it's obviously World War II.
Right.
So like so you've got like these dogs that are the Americans and the bats that are the Nazis. I keep wondering if we're gonna have allies with the bats that are also other animals. If you're gonna have like
I've been wondering that too. Yeah, like the Japanese or something.
I was gonna say, if you have a species that's the Japanese, or like where are the Russians and all of this?
You do see there are.
Well, they do mention the Russians are polar bears. There's
throwaway line. I did like that too.
No, I knew that.
There are about that. Like characters just in the background too, where you can see they have that they're wearing kimonos too. Just some of the bats, just little extras in some of the town scenes that you can see a lot of folks with like Japanese inspired outfits and clothing, but those are like one-offs too, just here and there.
But yeah, I was really impressed with how, and like I've never read anything from Remender that I didn't like and that I didn't feel like wasn't from the heart. And when he says in his there's a letter somewhere where he says he approaches every single issue he approaches it where he wants to do his absolute best work every single time, and where like there's not a filler issue.
Yes.
And like if you read just this one issue by itself, like even if you kind of need the first or the last one, they're always of a piece.
Yeah.
And he's not pompous when he says that. Like that's what he's attempting, and he always manages that.
Yeah.
Like
Remender's a fantastic writer.
He just nails that. Like it's always a like complete product.
Yeah.
But he's not afraid to humanize characters that are very easy to full on vilify.
Yes.
And it's really challenging.
Yeah, I mean there's lines in here about how like you blew up our cities and killed our children because of something our government did. And I mean that stuff resonates, and then you've got like the guy who is, tied up and say there like I'm just fighting a war here. I mean, there's a lot of really nuanced, really, really challenging ideas in this, and especially looking at and doing it all just with. I mean, it's funny because there's a weird kind of subgenre in comics that could go in a number of different directions of animals fighting wars. Now you could go into.
We've had a lot of this anthropomorphized stuff lately.
Yeah, and you could go a couple different directions. Like on one side you have like Mouse, on the other side you have like the manga Apocalypse Meow, which is actually about rabbits in Vietnam. So, I mean, it's odd that this is such, like, a genre.
I think it's right for this for a couple of reasons.
Yeah.
It's easier to get, just on a superficial level, it's easier to get really dynamic and cinematic with the action.
Yeah.
Where if you make it just World War II and just human beings, like, we've seen that done well, and it can be, and it can still really work well on a comic page. But it ends up being like almost too realistic, maybe.
Yeah.
Where there's this really good juxtaposition where he's wanting to get to the he's wanting to get to some kind of broader human condition issues that you can really easily lose when you just go, these are the Nazis and these are the Americans.
Yeah.
And that's why I said yeah, obviously we're gonna overall vilify the Nazis, but when you get into specific individuals, it gets complicated.
Yeah.
Like very quickly. Yeah, I was sold like by page 5 when you've got already. Like he gets hot and heavy immediately, right?
Oh
like,
yeah, for sure.
When I mean with the themes and ideas where he goes, where he's got a character talking about how a lot of the bats are yes, like doing these horrible heinous things, but their alternative is to have their entire family killed.
Yeah.
And what would you do? And then you get that great row of panels with all these soldiers standing there or sitting there not saying anything. They can't respond to that.
Right.
Yeah, and it's something because obviously that's kind of setting up what we will then build on a lot more in issue 4, where we have like a lot of discussion between him and the bat that kind of helps him out and gives him refuge. That kind of builds off of that initial conversation where we get to see that point, but now from somebody who actually lived it.
Yeah.
And Milton, our main character, really struggles with that because he's so just, like, this is the right thing. Like, I would never let this happen, like I would stand up and do my thing.
Yeah, and that struck me as kind of the main crux thematically of the whole thing is just how easy it is to oversimplify these situations and just like vilify a bad guy. Where like war is messy, and very often the only way to win is to do what the other side would consider a war crime. What even is a war crime? Like in war, ultimately, and I don't know, like just the whole thing is like such a tough subject. Like, you've got the atrocities that are like the cause of the war in the first place, and then you have the atrocities the quote unquote good guys have to commit to even end the thing. And so you've got the obvious allegories, which, like I said, aren't really allegories. Like, we could have just made this World War II. I don't know if it wouldn't be too off-putting to a lot of people to try to. And I mean, I think this canon should be maybe done too. But to a lot of people, to read this just within the context of World War II, where you're like, are you really going to say that like some of the Nazi soldiers and generals like are at fault for atrocities they committed because they were put between a rock and a hard place? Well, I don't think Remender's saying that at all.
No,
No, even the SS officer we do get is like portrayed in a very negative bit where the soldiers are like, oh, like the thing I miss is like, pretty girls. No, the thing I miss is like, that was the nice butcher shop down the street that I used to love. And the SS officer turns around and is like, these are the good days. Like, nothing before the war was better.
Yeah, because you have power.
That whole thing. Exactly, you have power. Like, you're living in the good times. Remember the look of admiration you get from the people now.
I was thinking too how the one good thing about making the characters dogs and bats, like the anthropomorphized animals, it makes it stand out because there's no shortage of World War II comics. I mean, there's not as many as there used to be, but
well, that's what I was going to say. Is it would almost look like it was for a different audience, or for like a more narrow audience. If you made it too realistic, maybe.
And also too, if you just,
it's easier to be desensitized to that too, where it's like some of the things that are shocking in this maybe wouldn't be like.
Yeah.
There's a part where the first time we see one of the bats die, where he like stabs him in the side, and he kind of like flips around and tries to attack back. And there's just this panel of like his eyes are red, and there's like tears going down his face, and it's like, oh, this is really visceral.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I would have that same gut reaction if it were regular people, just because that's what we always do. Yeah, we've seen it.
Yeah, and that's like the one thing that part of me wonders if this was just a straight World War II story with humans versus humans, that if it would just get lost in the shuffle more so than it probably already is. It's like, it's just another war book. It's just another war story. Like, we've seen this a billion times, and people wouldn't be interested in just how special this actually is, too, and how well crafted of a story this is. So at least that kind of works in his favor when you have it gives it that unique visual sense that I think really benefits. It really kind of draws you in, and
well, it's just right for the medium.
Yeah, it is. And yeah,
and again, that's not to say that you can't do like very realistic like we've seen that. Yeah. I'm struggling to articulate why this is necessary for this, but it just is.
It just feels right. It just feels right.
And I think some of it is.
It looks so good with like that painted look too. Like the art in this is beautiful.
I was gonna say, I think some of it is you just clicks in for this artist too.
And they're so expressive too. I mean, that's the thing. All the characters. I mean, every single emotion they're feeling is on the panel.
No, it's very expressive.
Yeah.
The main character with the flashback issue, in issue 2, really resonated with me a lot. With his worldview of, like living in quote unquote reality is pointless. Like, do your own thing. Like, be on your own terms.
Yeah.
I think a lot of us have felt that way at various points in our lives, where it's like you just want to check out and not even participate in like the system such as it is, because it just feels like everything is kind of stacked against you.
Yeah.
And I love his argument with his wife, who is his would-be wife, who or eventually will be, who is the opposite of that, and she is like a political activist, and is very much involved. And again, they've both got really reasonable and understandable arguments on both sides. It's really hard to decide who to side with.
No, and I think they do a good job of like subtly flipping them. And obviously, Milton, our main character, flips in that now he wants to go fight for his country. But she's like a bit more subtle in that there is now more of a hesitation, as opposed to like, this is a thing you have to do. Like, this is what you should do to like protect the world. Like, now it's like, oh, it's come home for both of them.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's like they flip, like you said, to some degree, because they both get more mature and realistic. And it doesn't make like one of them more grounded and one of them more in the clouds, but it makes them both more grounded in different ways, where it's like now her priorities change. And that also makes a lot of sense with kind of like, traditional generals and stuff. Like, she's going to have a baby, and so all of a sudden the home matters a lot more to her than the bigger political issues. And for him, the bigger political issues matter more, because that's the world that he has to raise a kid in.
Yeah, for both of them, it's coming home. This issue that they were just talking about that's far off in the distance.
And I like the unlikely, or maybe not that unlikely, romance of it, where you don't immediately even realize that these are two people that are falling in love through their like complete opposite outlooks. And like the kind of classic opposites attract thing like really works with that.
No, it's very heartbreaking watching all of that, and like him having to leave.
Well, and eventually knowing that like he's probably never going to see her again, and is maybe never going to meet his kid.
The one line that got me was,
or at least that's what he thinks is going to happen. The series continues, so who knows? Yeah. But I'm going to assume that at some point he is reunited with his wife. Yeah. But
well, I'm convinced the end of the series is he comes home and is completely broken and like just isn't the same person.
Yeah. Well, absolutely, especially because Remender writes so much about how that seemed to have happened to his grandfather, and
exactly,
and all of these experiences that the soldiers would bottle up and never talk about.
Yeah.
No,
exactly.
But like really define you anyway.
I was just say the one line that really got me was where he talked about how he never read any of the letters.
Yeah.
Because he didn't want to know his own child's name because that would make it real.
Yeah, then you just can't handle it.
And it's like, oh no. Yeah.
There's a lot of gut punches.
Have to sit with that one for a while. And I have to deal with that guilt too.
Yeah, and like the guilt that if he dies, like his wife has to just live with never knowing why he didn't ever write back too, like all that. Yeah, it's it's hard.
Nah, I will say, and this is just on the outside looking in, who knows what I would do if I was in a similar situation. But this does seem like I hesitate to say trope because I'm sure a lot of real people did this too. But this does, I'll just say it, this does feel like a trope in war fiction where you have the you have the like stoic or like forced stoic soldier who won't communicate to his wife at all because he is like you said, afraid of things getting too real.
Yeah.
But like you could say something. Yes. You could send like a letter to let her know you're still alive and you care. And like if you don't do that, there's all these different stories she'll tell about you in her head.
Right.
Maybe you're dead. Maybe you don't care anymore. Maybe you found another girl overseas. Like say something. But it's also that generation.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, it's like a harder generation.
Very 1940s. Bottle like, everything got be a man's man.
Yeah, and like my job is just to support the family.
Yeah.
I can't have any like cracks in my armor.
Be the Gary Cooper like Tony Soprano says.
Yeah, we see some of that like at home where he has to get rid of his plane and work at like fertilizer job, like moving fertilizer in trucks.
Yeah.
And we has that like kind of walled off, like I just have to get through it. Like she says, it's that living your life, or watching yourself live your life from across the room as opposed to being there.
I really like the way this book is structured. When we do flashback, I never feel like we interrupted the intensity and the excitement of the forward-moving, present day story to interrupt with something like less interesting or boring or unnecessary or like why am I doing this right now? And never felt gimmicky. Where I never felt jerked around with it. It always felt like natural places to now give me this, and I would get. Like with the backstory with his wife, I would get so invested by just a few panels in that now this is the story.
Yeah.
And so he's not really telling the flashbacks in scene exactly. But he might as well be. I guess what I mean is it still feels like part of the main story, even though it is a flashback. Right. He's really good at that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it doesn't feel like okay, like we're doing the action and now we got to stop quickly and like here's the talking bit, like you need to have that bit, and okay, now we can have action. Like, it doesn't have that.
No, it's so organic.
It's very natural,
and all the big action set pieces are driving the story forward, and it's so visceral that it doesn't feel like, oh, now we have to have a chase scene, now we have to have a shootout scene.
The action beats.
Like, this has to happen because this is what would happen now.
Right.
and there's always a lot of suspense around it. So it's not just like, ooh, this is fun. We get to see a lot of like fun airplane stuff or the fun chase stuff or fun shootout stuff.
Yeah, there's a baseline tension.
I'm always scared for somebody. Like in every scene, it's bordering on I mean, I don't want to say horror, but like just from the character, from the protagonist perspective, it's always bordering on terror.
Yeah, like I said, there is that baseline just tension that runs through the entire series, and that you're always on edge a little bit. You're always unsure of what's going to happen and how bad things are going to get. You just know that there's something coming.
Yeah, exactly. And it's very intense. And I think he does a really good job of balancing the main character having both good and bad luck in action scenes.
Yeah, good call.
And like he'll have like he'll running through something and like people are shooting, and in his captions he's just like, like they didn't hit me, stupid luck, like I can't believe that worked. And then we'll like immediately walk into somebody who will like cut deep into his shoulder, or like he twists his ankle or his knee or whatever when he falls off something. Like it's so just well balanced on that, where you never feel like he's being chased by these Nazis, but like he's gonna get through it. Like he's gonna be okay at the end of this. Like I know in each chase scene, like this is going to take something out of him.
Well, and I thought there was every chance he doesn't make it out by the end of this arc, and we just pivot to some other character in the next arc. Like I didn't know what we were necessarily doing, but it really played like there was no place to go, and so like you were always scared for him.
No, exactly.
It's like with your title, I'm spoiling stuff, but like he will escape. But like I don't know that for sure as I'm reading it, and that's like a double entendre title. Like he's escaping from his real life at the same time as he is trying to escape from these bats, and that's an aspect that I really appreciated about this too, is that this is a guy that already doesn't know how to do regular life. And so there is a selfish aspect to his going to war. Like it's not all totally heroic. It's not. And again, like a lot of men with new families can relate to this. It's that hypothetically, I thought I was going to know how to do this, and then now my wife is 9 months pregnant, and I'm like, oh, I don't know how to do this thing at all. And so going to, like, conveniently there's a war now that seems, as nuts as that is that might seem, that is easier to some people than staying home and taking care of a family, because you're less scared to go put your life on the line for your country and to possibly die for a cause. Than you are to screw up your kid.
No, and his flying was such just a example of his freedom that he loses when that family happens, and
that's
then
a great point.
Now joining the war is also the only way that he can get that, which is part of why when he leaves, he tells
he's immediately
his wife,
trapped. He jumps out of that plane and he's immediately trapped.
When he tells his wife, like, I'm gonna do 20 runs and like that's it, I'm back home. And in that first scene he's like, they say planes don't make it 20 runs, but we've been lucky, we've done 28. So you're like, he's also stayed way longer than
I missed that.
Than he said that he would.
And like deep down,
there was stuff I was kind of picking up more on like a second read.
This felt like
today,
a thing
like that wouldn't have hit me
that needs
the first time.
Reads.
Yeah, because it's like now you know something and you go back to it and you're like, oh, that line is a little different than it was the first time.
Yeah, it informs it more because you know where it's going.
Yeah, exactly. But so like all of that I thought was really interesting.
When he you were talking about how he's got good and bad luck. It could have played as like really convenient and kind of overly lucky when he finds kind of an ally that can put him up for a night.
Yes.
And I love the tension of that scene because that bat is helping him out because he thinks it's the right thing to do, but they don't agree on anything.
No.
And like I love
some of the
that.
best stuff in this book. Yeah, all of their discussions are great.
And again, I never know who to side with.
Yeah, it's so just like, like you're stuck either way. Like
so much really of this is the human condition and just living life is a total paradox. It's just contradiction after contradiction.
Yeah, no, and I like that bat has a similar world set that Milton has when back in the day, where he's just getting by. Like all of this, like there's no point in getting involved with it. I'm just head down, like I'm going day by day. Like obviously it's not the exact same. Well, especially like, because it's coming from a similar perspective.
Yeah, because I guess in both cases their principles don't necessarily align with what the state is doing, but this is a lot more extreme of a situation because you assume that it's. Well, maybe they come right out and say it. I was going to say you assume it's like the Nazis where they're subjugating some part of their population and treating them as lesser than human. I guess they come out and say that. They're not super clear about like how close it is exactly to what happened with the Jews. It kind of doesn't matter.
Yeah,
it's pretty broad strokes. Like even there's like a quick line about like like the food lines and like the people in the hospitals and stuff, like just kind of bad conditions too.
Like I'm not even sure what part of their population they see as lesser than.
Yeah, and I wonder with this being an ongoing if we'll get more into that side of it, like the Holocaust side.
Yeah, I mean, there's hints of it too. Like you see a lot of like glass windows with Hebrew text on it too. So.
Yeah, and obviously, like the main character, taking refuge under like the floorboards is obviously using some of that imagery.
Yeah, of course. Well, and I thought that whole thing about him not sleeping in his actual bed was real sad.
Yeah, no, all that's pretty tragic.
It's interesting that this is a book with personified animals called Escape, and it is not escapist fiction, really.
Nope.
You know what I mean?
It was not.
And, but it is a thing that I can say, and this might sound kind of weird, but like as heavy and thought provoking and like I said, I think this is the right word. Challenging as the whole thing is. Like it is entertaining in its way. Like it doesn't. It's not an oppressive read. Like I didn't need breaks in between.
No, yeah.
Like I was really sucked into it.
Right.
So it's one of those stories that somehow manages to hit really close to home and suck you into another reality at the same time. So like I can't say full on escapism, but it does. But it does have that like entertaining quality, and I think that is part of why making it animals really helps, because it doesn't feel like exactly the world that you live in, even though all the parallels are. I mean, it's more than parallels, but like it's all obvious.
Right.
No, exactly, because you can have all this heavy stuff we're talking about, and amazing discussions, and then you can also just have he like lights a car on fire and like drives it at a bunch of people, like stuff like that's really cool too.
Yeah, there's flair.
There is,
yeah, sense of style.
And there's a lot of gray in this book, but again, you look at there are those flashes of color. I mean, there's like the yellows here. The last one, there's the red car. I mean, it's visually interesting too. On top of everything, on top of just being like,
it is a real diverse color palette. I hadn't thought about that, but that's true. That helps it not to feel as oppressive, but it is in the places where it needs to be.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's so dark visually, like when we're in kind of the Nazi area, and then obviously in the flashbacks, like everything's very bright. when we're in kind of American soil. But I also with some of that really like just how much we live in the areas that he bombed.
Yes,
where all these people live. Like we get a lot of like
he's
not
having
just
to see
like
the consequences of that.
exactly.
Like, imagine if somebody had landed like, I mean, when it's nuclear, you really couldn't. But I was gonna say, like, imagine if somebody had to walk around Hiroshima right out, like,
yeah.
When especially because in that first issue, they're like, oh, there's a bunch of civilians like around this cannon we have to destroy, and there's like just a beat of hesitation, like, what do we do? And then, well, no, like we have to do this. We have to destroy the cannon to win the war, and obviously they miss and hit the civilian areas, and just that ends up being such a huge thing throughout this book that he then has to fully live with.
Yeah, it's like two things can be true at the same time, where it's like the, like some of these soldiers are have allowed themselves to just be straight up horrible, evil people, as we see, and there's obviously someone at the top, whatever the bat version of Hitler would be, and like the inner circle and all of that that is horrible and deserves whatever they get, but then all these innocent people didn't deserve to die,
Right.
and so how exactly God or the universe would sort this out with this guy in the afterlife, who knows? And like that,
Yeah.
so like you're kind of with everybody and against everybody all at the same time. Like I said, it's just paradoxes. Rock in a hard place. Like there's no, and I can't remember what exactly it was, Austin, but one of the chapter headings was something along the lines of like no good answers.
Yes. Yeah, there is. I can't remember which issue that is.
Honestly, that's probably the real thematic crux of the whole thing. Is like no good answers.
Yeah. No, and like off what you were saying, like we also get, some discussion about like what is God's place in this? Like what side would God be on? Clearly God's abandoned both sides and like would not be interested in either. And all that's kind of good flavor.
Well, and Remender says in his letters pages, and this is, I'm talking about something that's not in the book. So this is sort of cheating, I guess. But you get insight to the writer and his worldview and how he looks at things, and he is not afraid to tell you what he really thinks about things.
Yeah.
And he says in his in one of the letters that he thinks deep down people are more or less good, and that you give people too much power, or you put them in these really compromising situations, and they'll like kind of give that up. And so that suggests that his answer to there are no good answers is not just like throw your hands in the air and just let whatever happen, but try to like get back to like the inherent goodness of humanity, that like we can make the as close to the right decisions as possible. Like like you still have to try. I guess is what I'm getting at.
No, and he has that thing about the group as well, which you definitely see in this.
Yeah.
Where we live with people specifically, and
no, that's what it was. He's talking about the difference between mobs and individuals.
Right.
Exactly, yeah. No, and there's like a great line too in that discussion between him and the Bat that helps him out, where he's like, you guys voted in a mob, and the Bat's like,
yeah.
Do you think you don't live in a mob?
I do want to answer a question here from a Spider fan. Is it better than Apocalypse Meow? I haven't read a whole lot of Apocalypse Now, other bits and pieces, but
just
yes.
issue 3, right?
Yeah, just issue 3. Yeah,
Right.
But let me just say yes. Yes, it is.
Look, we're almost at 3.5 hours. I've not had one issue 3 joke yet. Okay,
You gotta have it. Yeah. I've got no issue with the lack of issue 3 jokes. But yeah, and that's such like that's not something I've read all the way through, but even just the bits I've read just doesn't come close to like the emotional resonance of this. It just doesn't have that same impact, and that at least is just more of like a straight up, basically it's just what it is on the cover. It's what it says on the tin. It's just rabbits fighting Vietnam, and maybe that's more to that, but it doesn't have that like really personal impact that this does.
Well, and that's not to take away from or undercut somebody that just has what they think is a really fun, cool idea for a story.
Exactly. Yeah,
that goes, what
Yeah,
if
that's a great title.
What if it was this?
Yeah.
Like what if it was these animals in Vietnam? But you end up on another storytelling level when you don't start from a place of here's a cool premise.
Yeah.
But you start from a place of this is a story that I need to tell.
Yes.
And then you work your way backwards and say, how will I tell that story?
Right.
When in his that letter at the end of issue 1, I think it's that in that spot, he specifically mentions with the animal thing, Watership Down.
Yes.
And like obviously you can then also look at like Animal Farm like that. Where,
I'm surprised he didn't mention
again,
Animal
it's just
Farm when he did that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just a tool.
Yeah,
of,
it's just a literary device
of doing it. Exactly. Yeah, or device I should say, not a tool, but yeah.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right.
And for the record,
it does somehow make it easier to, in some ways easier, in some ways harder to deal with the violence.
Yeah.
Because he even says, like, you make it animals and, like, people tend to sympathize a lot faster.
Well, I mean...
And so in some ways it's easier to do the real violent stuff because it's not people, it's animals. But in other ways it's, oh, no, you did that to animals.
Yeah,
so, I'm sorry, what were you trying to say?
I was going to say, that's like the one... Have either of you read We 3?
No.
No, I've been meaning to because I've heard it's great.
It is, but...
It's
like,
on my list.
Yeah, but, like, one of the... That's also one that will destroy you in a completely different way. But one of the big complaints about that people have is that it's a it's a comic where cute animals die. And terrible things happen to your pets. And I think it was even like Ward Ellis where there's like a quote where he says that the whole plot is like, look at this cute bunny and it's dead.
Yeah, because I only heard about that when Guardians 3 came out. There was people that were like, oh, I think this was looking at We 3. And people lobbed that at that movie too.
Yeah. And I think... So, yeah, I mean, when something happens to, I mean, just to kind of echo what we've already been saying, like when something happens to an animal, it in a way kind of weirdly makes it more horrible. But I think that helps like the really emotional parts of the story land better. So, again, it's not quite We 3, which was just, here's your pet, here's this lost kitty we're going to do brain experiments on. So
I think that's just part of like animals are such like real life caricatures,
right?
Where it kind of boils everything down to the most basest element.
Yeah.
Austin, this is one of those books that I almost wanted to just recommend and not really talk about.
Yeah.
Because I kind of think everybody.
I'm glad you guys also felt that way because I was like, there's a chance I come into this and everyone's like, you hyped this up too much.
Yeah.
No, this one, like I said, if there is such a thing as an instant classic, this is one of those. And I think it's just universal.
Yeah, no, I agree completely.
Now I can't say
like
the thing that everyone would like, quote unquote, enjoy, and that some people wouldn't be put off by, or some people might not be, or might be offended that I hate to say it like this, offended that it is as thoughtful and mature about it as it is, and that it isn't simple about it and doesn't say one side is completely bad and one side is completely good.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately there are folks that think that way and kind of do have that like you said, Austin, group mentality.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think that's just incorrect. I think you got to be more thoughtful about it than that.
No, all I know is that we need to make an animated version of like Watership Down
Yes.
that will disturb an entire generation of children.
Exactly. Look at this cute kids movie. Oh no.
No, absolutely.
But no, like genuinely, I do hope this gets adapted at some point. Like I think this would be perfect for it.
I do too, and I hope I kind of hope it's 2D animation.
Yes.
I kind of hope it's like really stylized. Like it doesn't have to be hand drawn necessarily, because you could do a really good kind of painted effect with it.
Yeah, or maybe like a scratchier, like pencil-y thing if you're not going exactly for like the painted look.
Yeah. Sure.
And I think part of that is there's just like something about the main character to me that reminds me of what was it, like Tailspin? I think that Disney show
Baloo,
where they where Baloo the bear from Jungle Book is the pilot.
Yeah.
Where like it just kind of correlates in my head as like kind of similar in visual style.
Launchpad. There's a Launchpad McQuack that shows up in Darkwing Duck later.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like I don't know, that kind of a like older, scratchier Disney look. I think could maybe good for an adaptation too.
It's getting late. There's a whole lot more we could talk about with this.
Yeah.
But I kind of want to just leave it there and say like people should read this.
Yes.
Yes.
Review. It's good. Read it.
This is a thing. Yeah, and like. I don't know. It's the kind of thing I think a lot of people are likely to have kind of a spiritual experience with, where it cuts deep.
Yeah.
And
yeah, like, even if you're not like a big war fiction person, like, I think you can get into this. Yeah, exactly. Like I think you can get into this.
But like it's just too universal.
I would say too that even if you are,
it just mines a lot of truth.
If you are somebody who's into a lot of war fiction, a lot of World War II fiction, this hits a lot of notes that you don't typically see in a lot of, especially like stuff from that era too, like
especially because it's just not scared of anything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like this might sound counterintuitive to say, but like Remender is willing to offend people to say what needs to be said, and like I always have so much respect for that.
Yeah, for sure.
He will go for it.
Well, it's also I forgot to mention this earlier. I didn't even think to bring this up, but it's interesting that this is, of course, the same guy that came up with and wrote Agent Venom.
Yeah.
Which is in its way also a war book. And like I'm not a big war fiction guy. But like I love Agent Venom.
Right.
So there's something about the way this guy approaches military stuff is really easy for me to sink my teeth into.
Yeah. No, I was thinking about that too, reading it, because I had that thought of like, oh yeah, he did Agent Venom, and I know got a lot of war themes to it.
Yeah.
So it's like clearly that's something that he's also just kind of, very passionate about.
I mean, it's not exactly a war book, but like,
it's got a lot.
But like it's dealing with Fallout.
Yeah.
Right, because he's got like his leg. Doesn't he like have his legs blown off or something?
Yeah, because that's why he's got the symbiote, because he lost his legs.
So it's like you're dealing with some of that fallout.
Yeah, I mean that is a PTSD book, but like it's handled real thoughtfully. Anyway, well, anything else you guys just have to say before we spin the wheel?
Can't wait for 7.
Yep. So.
Yeah, I will probably have to get this in trade. like, I didn't get very far before I decided this was one of those just like obligatory you have to have this on your shelf kind of books.
Yeah.
Like it was a Klaus for me very fast.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh, there's not any not owning that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
I probably won't get the singles, but I'll probably buy that in trade.
I think that makes sense.
I might wait to see if it just feels like one of those books I want like a hardcover for.
Right.
I may wait.
Yeah.
I may wait and see how much of it there ends up being, and like if it doesn't go too long, it'd be nice to have one volume.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's hard to say because reading this month to month, I was like, is this a mini? Is this a maxi? Is it non-going? Like I can't get like a solid answer anywhere. Like I have no idea.
I knew he was going to do more, but I kept thinking that even during 6, and I had to keep reminding myself that there was definitely going to be more. Where I was like, God, this could really end right here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, exactly. And then obviously I found out it is an ongoing.
And I expected more, honestly, and this is not a criticism at all, but I expected more of a resolution at the end of 6. Like, even if it was going to keep going, I kind of expected just, like, a hard cut new story.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't really sure going into 6 what that was going to be. Cause
it's
I was
not
like,
really done.
Mm-hmm. No, exactly. Well, even the cover for 7 is that Nazi commander guy like holding a gun at him while he's like trying to blow up that cannon, which is what he's trying to do through this.
Yeah. It's like, he's not resolved that. He could still die, I guess.
He could, yeah. I mean, he's behind
he
the
dies
lines.
2 pages into the.
We have a new protagonist.
We didn't talk about this, but I thought his plan was real smart and like obviously crazy brazen.
Yeah.
But like when he's in that interrogation room, you don't know at first, like if that's part of his plan or not.
Yeah.
And I really like that.
No, that scene is one of my favorite lines where he's kind of like jokingly doing he's doing like the Han Solo thing, right? Where that commander is trying to get like under his skin and he's doing like the bravado, and that commander says something like, you can't drown like your war crimes from swagger or something like that. That's not the exact line, but it's something like
swagger.
that.
Swagger. Yeah.
He says swagger.
Yeah, he says swagger a lot in that scene. That was 100% his word of the day calendar.
I was going to say that
exactly.
read like you found a new word today.
Everybody starts screaming like it's Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Okay, we could talk about this all night. Let's go ahead and spin the wheel to find out what our featured book will be next time. We've got quite a bit on the wheel. We've got probably at least 20 now.
Yeah, we got a nice collection.
And quite a bit from the audience. So I think odds are it'll be an audience book this time.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens. Thanks everybody for super chats and putting stuff on the wheel. We got 6 tonight. So that's absolutely a record.
Yeah, no,
for
sure.
That blows the record, and we might never see that again.
Yeah.
So thank you guys a ton. Appreciate it, and let's spin the wheel now. And it would be fun if it was something that was thrown on tonight.
Right, yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah,
see, there's so many you can't even read. You can't even read it anymore. There's not even words.
Jinx.
Oh, one of the ones from tonight, then.
One of the ones
From tonight. That's right.
Yeah. Again, this is Bendis book I haven't read, but it's been on
I don't know anything about it.
Yeah. Well, I know his is it an imprint or is it just like his own little career-owned world that he calls Jinx World?
Oh, I didn't know about that.
I think so. Yeah. I don't know if it's like an actual imprint or if it's just like a really informal, like view askew verse type thing.
That kind of makes it sound like a shared universe or something.
Yeah.
Is it not?
It might be. I don't think.
Okay, so Image did publish this. This was 97. Okay, so that's interesting because that means that he might have already been doing creator-owned stuff at Image, and that's how he got the Sam and Twitch gig.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. I just want to look at the dates for his initial Sam and Twitch run. 99. So he was doing creator-owned stuff there 3 years before he got that job.
Yeah.
Or 2 years anyway. Well, I'm glad we're gonna read that because I've not read Bendis going back that far, and honestly, I didn't know he had creator-owned stuff that far back. I guess I should have known.
Yeah, I knew he kind of starts with that, like that's how he breaks in, and then obviously Sam and Twitch, and then Marvel.
That makes sense. I'm sure a lot of people do that.
Yeah,
but I didn't know for sure what he had.
Right.
Mm-hmm. No, he's got like a flip of some other creators where like a lot of creators will get a big 2 spot and then leave to do their creator thing. Well, Bendis was very much like once he got in on that, that was what he was into.
Yeah, because like I know part of it too was that since he was such a big indie guy, when they were doing the first Ultimate Universe, they wanted to bring in folks who were kind of, they want to do some outside the box thinking, so they specifically went for like indie creators. Like they went for Bendis, and then they got Mark Millar because he did The Authority. So
yeah, well, and with Ultimates, they just get that Authority creative team. Yeah, because exactly. Hitch was also drawing not Millar's, I don't think, but Alice's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't realize that was the same creative team. Because I've still never read that. Authority.
It's something. I'm not like a giant Authority fan, but it's not like bad.
Yeah, it's, parts of it have not aged as well as others, I'll say.
It just kind of exists. Like,
it just kind of exists, yeah.
I can understand really liking it. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
I preferred the Ultimates.
Yeah.
I mean,
but anyways,
I'm not gonna judge. I bought like 40 Spawn comics last week. Everybody, thanks a lot for watching. Hope you enjoyed the show. I don't know how it was this close to 4 hours again, but we had a big dense feature this week though.
We had a lot to say about a good book.
Yeah, exactly. So we had. Thank God we didn't have like 10 new books to talk about at the start.
That's true.
Yeah.
We did take our time on the ones we had, though. But no, I found Escape intimidating to talk about.
Yeah.
I got one issue in, and I was like, I'm not going to be able to get this. It's due at 2 in the morning. But I'll show up.
We did it.
Yeah.
Anyway, appreciate you guys. Thanks a lot for hanging out with us. And we'll see you again next week, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I am Captain Logan, and we had Chris, and Austin the Day Ghost.
Good night, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, folks.